live from Johnston, Georgia, and the suburbs of Atlanta. This is the Week Zero podcast powered by Kos Sports. Hello, welcome back to another episode. I am your host for the evening, Andrew Rank Clemson, joined by my co-host Connor. VT is a basketball school, Tree. Ryan, Ohio State is better than Notre Dame, Fravel. And Lucas, Oregon looks down on Notre Dame, McKnight, facts.
No.
Gentlemen, how are you doing? That was a great weekend of college football.
Your audio was all messed up, bro. At the end, Coster.
Oh, crap.
You're good now.
It's all good.
Well, poo.
Roll with the punches.
And I see a dude named Rigo likes to go by Rigo and likes to refer to himself in the third person.
Okay. Well, hello, Rigo. But gentlemen, guys, we have a special treat for you tonight, and this is a huge one for us and the amazing opportunity we had. We got to interview Hugh Freeze, the head coach of Liberty University, of course, former Ole Miss head coach, where he beat Nick Saban multiple times, won a Sugar Bowl title as well. This actually occurred yesterday around noon. We weren't going to live stream it. We wanted to save it for you guys to watch it at a regular time. And I'm going to kick it over now to Connor to tell us how we were able even to get that.
So how it worked was after, I don't even know which loss, but after a Virginia Tech loss, people were on Twitter were going around asking what coaches Virginia Tech should look at. And one of them was Hugh Freeze. And I jokingly said in response to that the only way Hugh Freeze would ever be coaching at Lane Stadium was on the opposing sidelines for another team, as he did a couple years ago against Virginia Tech. And then Coach Freeze decided to not respond to that tweet, but directly DM me and say, "I appreciate you, man, for that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, Coach. Wow. I like the fact that you can laugh at yourself. Hey, Coach, I'm part of a college football podcast. You want to come on?" He's like, "Sure." So this has actually been about 2 weeks or so in the making, because this happened a few weeks ago, and we've just been trying to get time that worked for him. And they actually have a bye this week, so it worked out pretty good since he doesn't have a game to have to worry about. So it's a huge honor. It was a huge honor to be able to interview him, and I hope you guys enjoy this.
All right, yeah, it was. I'm gonna say right now, it was an amazing experience. So we're all looking forward to it. There's a lot of questions we were able to ask him. He's actually there wasn't really a limit on what we could ask too. So you guys are gonna get to learn a lot about Hugh Freeze. I think a lot of people don't realize how down to earth Hugh is, but this is gonna really do that. And with that being said, let's go ahead and roll it. Here is the man, the myth, the legend, the Hugh Freeze interview. What is going on, guys? Welcome back again to the Week Zero podcast. Today is just me, your host, Andrew Coster, and my co-host, Connor Dotry. And we've got a very special guest on the show today. Not the one and only, the legend, the head coach currently at Liberty University, Coach Hugh Freeze. Coach, welcome to the show. How are you doing today? I heard you guys just got out the practice field.
We did, man. Thanks for having me on. We just we finally have an open week, so it's pretty nice to not be too stressed about whether practice was great or not. We got off. We started a little early, got off a little early, so our coaches can get on the road recruiting. So it's good to have an open week.
I know that's a big thing, especially at this time of the year with early signing day coming up. Now, I guess the first question I wanted to ask you is, you started off your career in being a high school coach in Tennessee, kind of like how Gus Malzahn did when he was started his career off. What made you decide to transition from the high school game to the college level?
Truthfully, it's ironic you brought Gus up, but he and I are really good friends, like best friends.
That's awesome, actually.
In this sport, he's probably my best friend in the game, and I think he would say the same. I just talked to him this morning again, but that's when we became friends. I was winning a lot of games and state championships in Tennessee, and he was doing the same in Arkansas. And we would end up at these same clinics together because if you win the state championship, you get invited to these clinics, and that's where we really became friends. And our paths have been crazy similar, where we both left high school the same year and went to college coaching the same year. So It's been eerily similar, but I'd always had the desire, Andrew, to be a college coach. Always. I told my wife on our honeymoon that we honeymooned in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and on our way to Gatlinburg, we pulled in Neyland Stadium on the University of Tennessee and kind of not broke in a gate, but weaseled through a gate that was kind of loose and got on the field. And I told her there I was going to be a head football coach in college. Actually told her the SEC, which did come true. But so I've always had that desire, and just, timing is so much of everything in life. I did wonder at one point if that dream had passed after you get married, have kids. It's really like, man, I got a good job here. I'm getting paid pretty good. I have 3 kids. This GA stuff probably ain't gonna work, and us pay the bills. But fortunately, Ed Orgeron gave me a chance in an off the field role for a year, and I just worked that year as hard as I could, and fortunately proved myself to be elevated to an on the field position. And then from there, man, it went really fast for me to be back as a head coach, and very quickly. So very blessed.
So, Coach, obviously you talked about coaching the SEC. So, obviously, you guys traveled and played at Ole Miss, your former, place of hire. What did it mean? What did it feel like to be back there to play against them? And what did it mean to your team as well?
Well, Connor, it was something that I dreaded for a long time, to be very candid. Your mind can play tricks on you. Like, you worry about your wife, your daughters, my mom, my dad, and how will they be treated? I get it, man. I get treated bad in some stadiums from time to time, just because you're a coach and you're the visiting team. So you're kind of have a mindset that you're used to some of it. But this was quite different for sure, because I love that place. It's home to me. It's where I was born. It's where I was raised. It's probably where I will be retire and be buried. So, so that was a special place. And man, we proved that you can win there, and we won a lot of big games. And so that was a great experience, other than the ending. And therefore, that's the first time I've been back there since that time. And so there's some uncertainty. But I'll have to say that the welcoming that I got at the hotel, pre-game, post-game, for me, my wife, kids, was it was awesome. And I think people, the reasonable people, appreciate the fact that we got something done there pretty special, and winning a Sugar Bowl and going to 2 New Year's Six games and winning some big games. So I think time kind of heals whatever hurt there may be, whether they have an understanding of what the truth is or not, really doesn't matter. What matters is I felt very welcome, as did my family. So the game, wish we would have had a chance to win it at the end. I think we were right there. Just didn't make enough plays, particularly in the first half, to be in it at the end. But I thought our kids battled a top 15 team extremely well.
Yeah, and Coach, you just talked about your kind of the success you had at Ole Miss. You're one of only a handful of coaches that has ever been Nick Saban 2 years in a row. So during his time at Alabama, what did those wins mean to you as a coach, and where do they rank among like your biggest achievements as a coach?
They were incredibly special, and certainly at my time there, they would rank way, way up there. Having, you're beating, I'll tell you that those 2 years we beat them, not only, I don't know if people know this, but you've got Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Mel Tucker, Mario Cristobal, Lane Kiffin, Billy Napier.
All of the coaching staff.
I didn't realize Mel Tucker.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And Ole Miss has its old country bumpkin, Hugh Freeze. And it wasn't a real fair fight. But, man, for our kids and staff to find a way to beat that team and that staff 2 consecutive years is pretty remarkable. and special. So I'll treasure those wins. I have memorabilia from both of them, and we'll always keep that. I will say there's been some wins here, though, that have felt as special, because of just us moving to FBS, taking it to a bowl game in year one and winning it, and then beating Virginia Tech in year two in that special year we had, and then beating a top 15 team in the bowl game last year in Coastal, an undefeated team. Those felt equally as good, I'll have to say.
Now, Coach, since you have coached a lot of places, of course, Arkansas State as well, and then Ole Miss, and now Liberty, you've been to a lot of opposing stadiums. What would you say was the toughest environment to coach at?
If any time of kickoff is A&M to me. Night LSU is tough.
Okay.
A&M's tough. I've played there at day and night, and it's tough. Those people are in sync with their cheers, and the whole reveille is right behind your bench, and it's chaotic. It's 110,000 there. We actually at that time opened their new stadium, and that was the largest crowd to ever watch a college football game in the SEC, and it was crazy loud. LSU on Saturday night's pretty crazy too. Florida gets pretty loud. There's some loud stadiums, but I'd have to give the nod to A&M overall.
Now, Coach, I'm a Virginia Tech alum and a fan, so I'm going to ask you, what did that mean?
Stadium, I don't know if you know this. I coached at the year I was head coach at Arkansas State. We came to Lane Stadium and played Coach Beamer and them, and that's an interesting loud stadium. That's kind of sneaky. It's kind of sneaky loud that you didn't it doesn't get talked about a lot of times. But man, it when they come into the Inner Sandman and the keys and stuff, it's pretty loud.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's so much smaller compared to the SEC stadiums.
Yeah, what does that stadium hold there?
66,000.
Yeah.
So, but obviously you had that really weird, crazy win where at Lane Stadium last year, where Virginia Tech thought they blocked the field goal for the win, and then they didn't, and then you guys got the game-winning field goal a few plays later. What did that mean to your team last year, with how special of a season you guys were having? What did that symbolize for you guys?
I think it just validated the fact that, man, we're on the right track. I mean, look, that doesn't mean you're going to win every game, and certainly we've lost some this year that I thought we could have won. But when you do happen to win one where a team has a superior roster, I mean, just look at the 3, 4, 5 stars that are on rosters like Virginia Tech has, and we have our 2-star kids, and every now and then we might throw in a 3-star, but you put a game plan together and your kids execute it well enough to give you a chance to win it, and then you get over the hump and win one like that, and it's pretty stinking awesome, And so that was, I think it was just, man, Liberty's having a special year, and it kind of validated that we're definitely on the right track.
Now, Coach, since you've come to Liberty, I mean, you really kind of turned this program now into one of the best group of 5 teams out there. How much work did that take to really get them going now to where you guys are competing with teams, heck, not just group of 5 teams, but Power 5 teams on a regular level?
Yeah. Well, I think, we all have gifts and strengths and weaknesses. And I think the best coaches are the ones who play to their strengths and recognize their weaknesses. And I'm pretty transparent, and I know myself really well now. And I know what I'm good at, and I know what my strengths are, and I know what I'm not real good at. And I try to hire people and let them do their job for where I'm not as interested or weak. And one of the things that I do know, and I guess it's kind of proven in the stops I've made, whether it be Lambeth, Arkansas State, Ole Miss here, I've taken over programs that had not had great years, and we've been able to turn it really quick. And I just think I have this plan for culture and confidence that's built in the building that that allows teams to maybe play a little better than maybe their talent says they are. And so you combine that gift with the ability to evaluate and recruit players, which I think I have also, along with some help. Those two are a pretty good fit for really flipping a program pretty quick and seeing some results on the field. So there's a lot of things I'm not good at. And so I don't want to sit here and act like I have it all figured out, but I do know that I'm pretty good at getting a group of people pointed in the same direction with the same mindset and same culture, or at least a large percentage of the group, and have a plan that we don't vary from, that gives them confidence, and they see a consistency in the leader, that he's not too up, he's not too down when things are good or things are bad, and he approaches it with the same plan, same preparation, and
I think we might have lost him for a second, or he froze for a second.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. It just froze for a
really
second.
bad there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our bad. Speaking of strengths, though, you guys have a huge strength right now at your quarterback position, who's right now projected to be taking the first half of the first round in this year's NFL draft from Malik Willis. And you've already coached some great quarterbacks at Ole Misses and Bo Wallace and Chad Kelly. What is so unique about Malik Willis that makes him a first round draft pick?
Well, the most unique thing about him is really his humility. He's the most humble talent I've ever coached. Always team until things don't go well, and then it's him. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, in today's society where it's the Insta life, whatever, we call all those things, man, he is just, it's always somebody else gets the credit, and until things don't go well, and then it's his fault. And I just admire the heck out of him for that. But as far as what makes him a top draft pick is just his ability to be an accurate passer with this crazy God-gifted, freakish athletic ability to make crazy plays that make you go, wow. And, I'm just thankful that, you're talking about a kid who never played any significant snaps of college football until he got here. And I just think he had somebody finally believe in him and say, we can help you. I know that you will fit in my system. And I'm just thrilled that everything we talked about in recruiting has come about, and even really exceeded probably any of our expectations. So thrilled for him.
Now, Coach, it just came out recently that Liberty will be moving from independent league to joining the Conference USA League in 2023 as part of like the most recent round of realignment. What were your thoughts on that? And, how do you think that'll help the program moving forward once you guys do move to a conference?
Love it. Love the fact, I think in this climate of realignment and talk of expansion and all of that it serves us well to be a member of a conference. And I'm hopeful. I got a few texts earlier. I'm hopeful that we're able to hold on to a few schools that were kind of on the fence. Y'all may know more about that than I do, but I hope we can hold on to a few of them, and it makes our conference even stronger. But we're real excited. I think it's a conference that we can go into and be competitive and have a chance to win it. And I think that anytime you're able to be in the talks about conference championship, I think it's beneficial to your program, and certainly believe that that we can be in those conversations pretty quickly. So we're really excited. I wish it could happen next year.
Speaking of conference championships, obviously you won a Sun Belt Conference championship when you were at Arkansas State. Where does that rank among your achievements?
Man, time is funny. When I get to the end of my career and I look back, that's going to be way up there. It's funny how that one, because that's another team that had never they had been fairly new to the FBS, had never had a winning season. I think they were 6-6 one occasion, and we run the table and go undefeated in the Sun Belt Conference and win the conference championship in our first year, which was pretty crazy. And I'll never forget that night. I'll tell you this: there's one bad. I couldn't totally enjoy that night. I'll never forget it. It was on a Saturday afternoon. We kicked it off around 2 or 3 o'clock. We beat Troy to finish the year off with 10 wins and an undefeated Sun Belt season. But the Thursday prior to that game, that was Thanksgiving week. I'll never forget it. I had been offered the Ole Miss job, and I had to give them an answer that Sunday. And so we're winning, undefeated, trophy presentation, and in the back of my mind, I feel like everybody's looking at me like, "Do we know? We know, we know." And there's always so much hurt involved when you leave a school that you really do love being at. And it's a crazy. I don't know that everybody's like me, but I truly do care about the people I coach and the people I work with and the people I work for. And that same case was, I loved my AD at Arkansas State. I loved my friends there. I loved my players there. And you're torn with this opportunity, man. I can go coach in the highest level, but I'm fixing to crush all of these people that just made it possible for me to do that. And that is an absolute horrible feeling for me. Some people probably are callous, but for me, I recognize that the reason I'm getting that opportunity is because of these people that I'm fixing to hurt. And so that's the reason. It'll be an incredible memory of us winning that. The governor's out there with us, and all my AD and family. Dean Lee was an incredible AD. But internally, I was having this battle of, I'm fixing to rip their hearts out tomorrow. And they just did everything I asked and helped me get this, and now I'm going to hurt them. Now, most of them understand it, but I do have that internal struggle, and that was kind of the summary of that day.
Okay.
Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah, no,
it does, especially because where they brought you up, where they helped you get to where you are, even put you in that position,
No doubt.
Yeah, so that's just I think that's one thing that maybe people don't realize about you is you do have that, and that coaches in general, those decisions are tough.
I know a lot of coaches that it doesn't bother at all, but I know a lot of guys that are made like me where it's very, very difficult. You just don't like hurting people. I don't like hurting people, period.
No, I mean, neither do I. So that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad we both have that in common.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move. I think we can ask a few more questions. Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted, potentially for you. What was it like when you coached against Syracuse from a hospital bed in 2019?
Have you ever had anything in life that you're like, man, I probably should do that over, and I wouldn't make that same decision?
I have a
That's
couple.
one of those. That's one of those nights. Number one, I'm taking pain meds, and I can't see the game, and it was really just, I was worthless. But man, it was a new program, and I'd preached all spring long this theme of tougher together. And so I'm on this mission to prove that I'm going to be tougher. But man, it was in hindsight, I think I would probably not do that again. The doctors told me not to, but I didn't listen. But it was it probably set me back a week or two.
Yeah, doctors probably weren't very happy with you after that.
They were not.
Now, obviously, the biggest talking point so far this year with regards to actually the playoff committee and in the past few years, is just their treatment of non-conference. Oh, and there's Ryan coming in at the end there.
How's it going?
Say hi to Coach.
Hey, Ryan.
How's it going, Coach Reese?
I'm good, man.
So obviously, the committee hasn't really put that much faith, it seems, in group of 5 teams. So what do you think would have to change moving forward regarding that?
I don't think there's anything that can change the committee on a given year outside of expansion that would allow them to really. It would take a lot of moving parts and things to happen for a Group of 5 school to enter that Final Four. I think certainly Cincinnati is making that argument this year. I think that they're as close as anybody's ever been. And with some games to play, they have a chance, a realistic chance. I think those realistic chances for Group of 5 schools are few and far between on a given year in the current format. It's just in the committee's mind, right, wrong, or indifferent. I've coached at that Power 5 level, and I know the grueling schedules that you play in some of those conferences, and it's very difficult in people's minds, college football people's minds, to say that a team that has played a lighter schedule but fewer losses is deserving over some of these other teams that have played a grueling schedule. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that is going to be the hurdle that I don't know you can overcome on most years. Are there special years like this year that Cincinnati might? Yes. And they played out of conference and had a very, very impressive win over Notre Dame and also beat Power 5 Indiana. So they've got an argument. But is that argument valid year in, year out by most Group of 5s? Well, experience would tell us no. And I don't think that's going to change outside of the format changing.
Now, another thing, Coach, when it comes to playing big schools is I know you've played a lot, but what's one program you wish you hope to get to play at some point? I don't know if you've played like Clemson or a school out west like Oregon or anything like that. So what is the one school like?
No, I don't want to fly west. That's too far of a flight for me. I really have always dreamed of. I would love to play Notre Dame at Notre Dame. That's when I got the Ole Miss job. That's first thing I told the AD was because when they passed the deal that you have to play one Power 5 in the SEC and you're out of conference. I said, man, can we get Notre Dame? The problem with Notre Dame is they're scheduled out for like 50 years in their non-conference deal. And I do think it would be awesome for Liberty to be able to play at Notre Dame. I think that would be incredible for us. It was what our founder kind of dreamed of. So that would be really, really special. But it's hard to get Notre Dame on the schedule for sure.
Now, Coach Freeze, I didn't know if they have asked you this before, but when it comes to the playoff committee and Group of 5 teams, I know you mentioned Cincinnati and how they have a chance actually this year. To me, we've talked about it on our show, but to me, it sounds like the committee will give the Power 5 this set of standards like, hey, strength of schedule matters. Going on the road, your ranked wins matter. And then they tell like a UCF, a Cincinnati, a Coastal Carolina. I mean, even Liberty, you guys last year, hey, we don't value your guys' conference. We want you guys to go schedule tough ranked opponents on the road. Me as a Notre Dame fan, I got to see Cincinnati firsthand, and they are legit. I mean, come into Notre Dame, they beat us by 11. They controlled the game from start to finish. And to me, it was disrespectful having them at 6 in the first rankings. Do you think that with expansion going forward, it will make it easier for a Cincinnati, a Liberty, a Coastal Carolina, a UCF to get in? Or do you think it will just continue the trend of extending the standards or the goal line per se for Group of 5 teams to get in?
And I definitely think if expansion occurs, you're going to see one Group of 5 get in. I believe that. I don't think that they could possibly do that, but I do think that there'll still be the arguments of should there be 2 in, as opposed to a 2-loss Power 5 team, and here's a 1-loss Group of 5. I think you're probably still going to see the nod go to those Power 5s, but I do think it would at least give the group of 5 schools like us a seat at the table if you have one of those special years. Like last year, it was, I don't complain about a lot of that because I get it, I know. But, man, there was one point, we're being mentioned in it, and we were the only group of 5 schools that had 2 wins over Power 5 conferences. So it's like it didn't even register. And, we were not even in the discussions, and none of the other, I'm not taking anything away from the other group of 5s, but they had no wins over Power 5s. We had 2 and then beat the undefeated Coastal at the end. So, I get it. I do think we'll get a seat at the table if expansion of the playoffs occurs. But you're still not going to overcome some of the – and I try to put myself in their shoes. I've coached in those leagues, and, you got to see, are you talking about who you think is who would win on a given day? And that's the hurdle that they have in their mind, because they're asking themselves, all right, if I had Cincinnati versus Oklahoma, who do I think would win? Well, is that your criteria in your mind that decides your voting, or is it who is deserving on this given year? And I think that is the internal mindset that I don't know that anybody has answered that. But what is the criteria? Is it who do you think would win, or who is having the most deserving year? And as long as there's just 4 teams, I think it's going to be very, very hard to consistently get one of us a seat at that table.
So I know you have to. I know you have a meeting. I think you said at 11:30.
Yeah, we got offensive staff to watch film from this morning. So it's open weeks. They want to go home.
Yeah, no, I can't blame you. Y'all deserve that after a tough game last week, and to go on finish the season strong.
But Coach, quick question, Coach, before we do hop off here. What's it like coaching a guy like Malik Willis really quick?
Incredible. He makes me a good play caller. I like coaching guys.
He makes you look good.
When I call a play and it's a terrible play, it still works. Or you still has a chance to work, and that's what it's like to coach Malik Willis.
All right, well, Coach, once again, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It really means a lot, and we hope you guys have an amazing rest of the season going forward and for future years to come. We hope one day maybe talk to you in the future.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach.
Right.
Thanks.
All right, guys, and that was the interview with Coach Hugh Freeze, and that was pretty. It was pretty good. Safe to say, Hugh Freeze is a very down to earth kind of guy. By the way, also Connor, let me put you back here and then back here. Sorry.
There we go.
But I know Lucas, actually, this is your first time watching the interview. So what did you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was great. I was really, really surprised. And like I was telling you before the show, you guys hear me all right, right? New headphones. Yeah. Just making sure. Okay. I was telling you before the show how much research I've actually done on Hugh Freeze. Actually, I'm pretty sure his first name is Danny, if I know correctly. Pretty sure it's Danny Hugh Freeze. Anyway, Danny Hugh Freeze Jr., actually, I'm pretty sure is what it is. But anyways, I've done a lot of research on him, and he actually seems like, the media likes to put him out to a certain way, especially with all that stuff that happened. But doing all this research and hearing all of his interviews that he's had since then, I mean, he seems like an incredible guy. And then watching him talk to you guys, like this is the first time, obviously, talking to us, and we're a smaller podcast. So how open he was towards us is just incredible. And I'm so happy we got that opportunity. Unfortunately, I obviously couldn't be there, but it was just so great for us. And, hopefully his kind of message can get out there as well, and how good of a coach he is in person.
He definitely is a good coach, to say the least.
I just liked how much he was able to laugh at himself, talking about the breaking into Neyland Stadium with his wife.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Saying he kind of jokingly regrets doing the hospital bed game, because that became its own, like, a meme around college football for that season when that happened for a while.
Mhm.
But it's always good to, be able to laugh at yourself. And I'm glad to hear that he said that, he got a good reception as well from Ole Miss fans for the most part.
Yeah.
I think he didn't go out in such a bad way that they can't not forgive him for making their program up, building it up to what it is now.
Yeah.
He left it a really strong foundation for Lane Kiffin or whoever came in after him, and now Lane Kiffin's kind of taking it up to the next step. But he kind of brought that program up a good bit for Hugh Freeze. So
I think the one thing that's interesting that people forget is that really he still has had the most success out of any coach, I think, during Ole Miss, and at least this century. Because
in terms of like just overall success, like wins and stuff.
Well, yeah, think about it, because he's one of two coaches to beat Nick Saban in back-to-back seasons when Saban's been at Alabama. The other being Les Miles, who won a national championship. He won a Sugar Bowl. He went to 2 New Year's Six bowls.
He had them ranked number 2 in the first ever college football playoff rankings behind Mississippi State.
And I believe, and they beat Mississippi State that year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think he had a winning record against Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really still the best that anyone's done at that program
in a long time. Yeah.
Well, I also think we're kind of forgetting that he's one of the few coaches that has beat Nick Saban in Alabama twice.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, think about it. I think that gives you a little leeway with fans if you ever leave. I mean, no matter what you do.
I mean, sure,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, and both of them were one of them was the equivalent of a blowout when you're playing Alabama, because I think they beat.
It was at Alabama too.
It was at Alabama, and I think at one point they were up by 20, and they actually had Alabama fans leaving the stadium midway through the third quarter.
Was that the Chad Kelly game?
Yeah, the crazy the crazy swag Kelly cut.
Yeah,
he just chucks it up to Adebayo, and it gets tipped to him.
No, to Adebanjo, Quincy Adebanjo.
I was actually on my way to my high school semifinals game when that was going on.
Wow.
Quincy Adebanjo, Ravens practice squad legend.
Quincy Adebanjo. All right, guys. So, anyway, enough with that. We're gonna go ahead and get on to our playoff rankings reaction. Of course, this is obviously was the headliner for the show tonight, which is important, and we hope to get more guys like that in the future. Actually, we do have a college football player coming on tonight as a Pick'ems guest. So that's going to be really exciting. We'll get more into that, though, later. In the meantime, though, it is playoff rankings time. I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up here real quick. Because, obviously I want you all to be able to see that. Here we go. Ooh, and poof. I've got it pulled up here. So here are the current rankings right now. And also, okay, I was going to do that. Doesn't work. Okay. So right now, there really wasn't that much change this week. So we got Georgia staying at 1, Bama at 2, Oregon moved up to 3, Ohio State up to 4. The main thing I think that's interesting here is that they ranked Michigan. Michigan over Michigan State. And I'm honestly surprised they didn't drop Cincinnati. Because, every team struggled, but I was surprised.
They've been doing it for 3 weeks now against inferior teams.
Yeah.
1 is okay. 2 is somewhat acceptable, but continuously is
well, it's also the fact that they're a group of 5 team, and usually they hurt group of 5 teams with these kind of errors. And a lot of people have been saying that Cincinnati has to be dominating in these games, and they have not been at all. So,
I mean, what was the last dominating win that they actually had?
Convincing? I mean, Notre Dame, honestly.
Maybe the Notre Dame? I think
I think it was the week after against Temple or something, some school that they should be doing that against.
Yeah.
But I think the main really, I guess, questions here is, do you guys think that Michigan should be ahead of Michigan State, despite Michigan State winning head to head?
Well, I think the way I see it is if they were showing really good consistency with that last week, where they had every team that had been any team that was ranked in this, if they played head to head, whoever won was ranked higher. and that's how it was shown with Michigan State being Michigan. But then I think committee member was asked, why Michigan was above Michigan State, and they're like, we think they're still the better team. I think is pretty much what they just blatantly, they said everything except that, pretty much. They gave like the bureaucratic, answer of trying to avoid the question for the most part. But, I think that would be a 50-50 split if they played 10 out of 10 times. I think it'd be 5 out of 5 or 5 out of 10 for both teams. That's how close I think they are. But I think if you want them to stay consistent, I still think you should have Michigan State above Michigan. Because like Texas A&M beat Auburn, so they are above them, obviously. Baylor. Oh, so Oklahoma. Baylor's up there and stuff. These teams that have beaten each other are getting up there. Like Wisconsin's above Purdue now that they've ranked Purdue. And Wisconsin destroyed Purdue a few weeks, like two weeks ago. So, I would like to see the consistency carry on through.
To me, I think it is consistent. And the reason being, and I don't know if Andrew got to this earlier. I was switching on my headphones; those are being weird. But Michigan was dominating that Michigan State game. They were dominating it from the start. They were they were dominating the Spartans. They really were. And then they came back, and then it was a crazy game at the end. Michigan State ended up winning. Like you alluded to earlier, Wisconsin dominated Purdue. Oregon really, the score was closer than what the game was. Oregon really dominated Ohio State. So I think the committee kind of saw that as these teams are really, really close, but Michigan State just lost. So we're going to put them below because of how close those teams really are.
Do you think it's also because of how it was pretty much a blowout by Purdue? That's another reason why?
I think definitely that played a part.
That definitely plays into it.
Dominant that entire game.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing also is you look at the Michigan's outgained Michigan State yardage wise in that game. If you really go back to it, if Michigan doesn't put in McCarthy, the backup quarterback,
because he fumbled both times. I only watched the end of the game.
I don't know what he was thinking the second time. The first time, that's okay, just go with McNamara. He's playing great. But
I think the thing is that as a coach, and I know I only coach at the high school level, but as a coach, you always want to continue to believe in your team and your players, especially as somebody with the talent of JJ McCarthy. So I think it was one of those deals where Harbaugh, he knows he fumbled. He's a young freshman. And he's a young freshman, so he doesn't want him to think, he doesn't want to put in his head, oh, you fumbled, so you're not going to get another opportunity. We're going to keep you out.
He didn't want to put him in the proverbial doghouse for the rest of the game, in a game where, there is that time where sometimes, not every team, but, some teams will bring in a quarterback here and there that's more of the runner, which is what McCarthy was, just to do something. Of course, he fumbled the first time, got super lucky, got kicked out of bounds. And I understand going back there, they didn't do it immediately, so at least they gave him a chance, hey, it's a mistake. Learn from that, and then he does it again, and then that's the problem right there, where maybe he got a little too into his own head about that.
Well, and you look at it too, and not to give Notre Dame any credit ever, but they do it really well. Jack Cohn is their pocket passer.
They don't do it because they need to. They do it because they have to. Because
I don't think Jack Cohn's that far off of McNamara. Honestly,
I'd probably.
Jack Cohn for high.
I will say the only reason Jack Cohn has been successful the last couple of weeks is because Brian Kelly realized that the quick tempo offense is what Jack Cohn succeeds in. If you let him just sit back there and do a slow pass, he's going to get killed. That's why we've struggled in the first 6 or 7 games.
But my point is that Tyler Buckner, he's a freshman. He's their running quarterback. It's the same deal as Michigan. Michigan has a freshman that's their running quarterback. Works really well for Notre Dame, especially now that they've kind of figured it out. And, Michigan, they tried to do the same deal, and it backfired on them. So I think that's kind of what the committee is looking at, and that's why they're above. really agree with it too much. I do think Michigan dominated that game until the very end, but I do like head-to-head a lot. So I think it's, like you said, the reason why Wisconsin's over Purdue, the reason why Oregon's over Ohio State. So, it is what it is.
I do like that UTSA is now there. I do like
Yeah.
that. Complaining
We
about
all
that. I
love
like
that.
seeing them there. We all love that.
Yeah.
And Utah, I think Blake Harris said this during his show that Utah's probably, other than Georgia, these teams at the top, Utah's probably one of the hottest teams right now in the country. With they're on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak.
They're undefeated at home.
They're undefeated at home, so like they're playing really well. Arkansas, they had that 3 game losing streak that kind of stumbled after they got to 4-0, and they've won 2 straight to kind of build some momentum back up.
Yep.
So it's good to see that the committee's given attention to those teams that have kind of gotten it together towards the bottom there.
And I was originally kind of sad when they didn't put Clemson in the top 25, but when I saw who they put in,
You had
I
no problem with it.
mad. No, I had no problem with it because I felt all those teams were even more deserving. If Clemson just wins out, they'll get in. I'm not really worried about what they're doing right now. I'm just going to let them play out. But I think right now this is the good for those teams at the bottom. I think those rankings are really good. I will say I'm surprised Purdue jumped all the way up to 19. I
From
thought they would have been
unranked. Well,
yeah.
I wanted
2 wins against top 5 teams.
where they were outside the top 25. You know what I mean? Because they probably been 25, 26 to 30, maybe. They were probably right outside, maybe.
Yeah, but I will say the thing that they were I will say they were consistent with almost head to head there because look at Purdue ahead of Iowa head to head once again.
I like that line. Purdue beats Iowa, Wisconsin beats Purdue, and then
Wisconsin's better.
Yeah, it's actually funny enough. I didn't even realize that, but
they beat each other going backwards.
Yeah,
And then obviously you got Michigan State. Purdue's just like the past few years. Purdue's just become like it. You do not want to take on Purdue as a top 5 ranked team in November.
Yeah.
In late October, November-ish, you do not want to take on Purdue. It seems it doesn't matter if it's at home or away.
Fun fact: I'm a big vintage clothing guy, and I have a 2001 Purdue crew neck on from the last time they played the Super Bowl with Drew Brees. Yes, sir.
So I kind of wanted to get on this because I have 2 issues with this top 25. I kind of talked about it a little bit in the group chat. I love seeing UTSA there. I've been saying the last couple of weeks they should be ranked. I like Utah, but I do not like Arkansas. And the reason why is because when they do play ranked teams, they got absolutely destroyed. Their 3 losses come to Georgia, Auburn, and who was their other one? I can't.
They beat a ranked Texas.
Yeah,
team.
they beat Texas. They also beat Texas A&M pretty comfortably too.
And Texas A&M is all the way at 11, so that's a really.
I know, but they caught Texas A&M right off of them losing their starting quarterback. So, I mean, yeah, you could put Arkansas there, but to me, it seems like kind of an SEC bias there. They think that the SEC is everything. If it were me, I would put Houston or SMU at the 25 spot.
Well, SMU lost.
Okay, then Houston. But I mean, I just don't understand why there's
Houston
so much.
Struggled with South Florida last week, who's literally has 2 wins.
Okay, Cincinnati's also been struggling with teams that are bad in the American, but I'm saying Houston literally just beat SMU that was ranked, and I think that I don't see an issue with putting Houston at 25. Again, it just seems like.
Or what about another group of 5 teams?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like to me the committee just doesn't like the American Conference top to bottom. They just do not.
Well, it is. I mean, you got some bad.
If that were,
you got Navy, you got you.
But I mean, you have San Diego State that's out here struggling with UNLV and San Jose State, and it's like they just keep moving up. I mean, it just seems like it's
moved up.
They moved up what
2 spots?
They moved up 2 spots. And that was only because I don't even know who lost. I can't even remember who was in the
There was
bottom.
a lot of teams in the bottom, like from 15 and below, that lost. 4 that got knocked out. So like, what do you want to do? You're gonna kick them out for that? Like, yeah,
And
if they had maybe all
because they
won,
lost. That's why UTSA moved up.
yeah. I do
Um,
think UTSA should be above San Diego State.
I'd agree.
That's my only issue with the top 25 is San Diego State even being in it.
Yeah, that's. I don't agree. They should be ranked either. But then going from like the number 2 spot down to the number 10 spot, you could put any of these teams anywhere you want based off of whatever criteria you want to use. But going based off of what the committee has told us for years, they look at strength of schedule, ranked wins, your conference strength, who have you beaten, games you've struggled in, common opponents. It doesn't make sense to me the way they ranked 2 through 10. Okay, I understand you want to put Alabama there because it's
you want to set
It'll-
that up for the SEC.
yeah, it doesn't matter either way that plays out. You can get mad about Bama being 2. It doesn't matter either way.
It'll work itself out either way.
Yes.
There's 3 scenarios we talked about.
But then you have Oregon and Ohio State. I don't have a problem with Oregon and Ohio State being in the top 4. Okay, I don't. But my issue is the reasoning that they are in the top 4. Okay, so you say, okay, Oregon beat Ohio State. Okay, that's a signature win. Okay, who is Ohio
doesn't
State?
have a signature win.
Yeah, exactly. Who is Ohio State beaten that would make you automatically
And
think they're a
they
top
struggled
4?
against they struggled against a well. We've said this and we can agree. Nebraska is better than their record has shown. There's people say they're like 9 plays away from being undefeated or something. Nebraska's had some seriously bad luck. I think they've lost all of their losses except one have all been within like a touchdown.
And here's the thing,
They have
though.
all been within
Here's-
9 points.
But here's-
Nebraska is keeping them close. They're not getting blown out. It's not.
Yeah, but
it's
here's
not
the
bad losses.
thing. They struggled with Nebraska, but almost every team in the top 10 struggled last week.
Except the only
except
team in the
minus
top,
Georgia.
the only teams in the top 10.
Besides Georgia.
The only teams in the top 10 that did not struggle this past week was Georgia, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State. Those are the only 3 teams, and they only moved Georgia State at 1, but Notre Dame and Oklahoma State didn't struggle, and they're just like, okay.
Because Notre Dame played a
Notre Dame
2-win
didn't move
team.
up. Or they
I
played
know,
one.
but I'm saying Ohio
They
State
won?
played a 3-win Nebraska team.
Okay,
mean-
how are you? Okay, they're not going to drop them when literally Cincinnati struggled. Michigan, they won, but
Whereas
it was
if
closer than
if-
it should have been.
There's enough teams struggled that you can't really make it that because all of these from 3 through 7 or 3 through 5, those 3 teams all struggled, but they didn't lose, and thus you can't really make the argument that you can really drop them because of
But
that.
then they're but they then punish Oklahoma for playing teams.
Well,
that
Oklahoma
they
was
should
on
beat.
bye.
No,
Oklahoma's
I'm
on
not
bye.
saying
They're not gonna
this
move them up,
week.
but
I'm
it's also-
saying
but I
next
think it's
week.
also because
I mean,
it's also because Oklahoma had struggled so much before this that it was a pattern. And
When you
because- and they didn't
struggled
have
with Tulane and Kansas,
They haven't had
If-
a chance to prove anything yet. I mean,
If
Exactly.
Oklahoma wins next week, I
gonna-
can almost guarantee you they will be in the top 5.
who do they
Yeah.
play this week?
They play
Baylor.
Baylor.
They
at
play
Baylor.
Baylor this week.
Yes.
That's what we meant.
Now,
yeah,
the real
or
question is if they
Baylor.
lose, where do
if
they
Oklahoma
fall?
wins, I would be fine with them moving.
Yeah,
moving over
I-
to Michigan State or Michigan. Honestly,
I
I'd be fine
agree.
with that. That's a
Wait,
great pick.
why did Baylor stay at 13 if they
Because they
lost,
lost-
to Iowa State? Or who did they lose to?
TCU.
TCU.
I mean, who are you gonna put?
They
above
dropped
them?
1 spot for losing to a team
Oh
with
wow!
no coach.
Oh really? Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah.
TCU's like what 6-3 now.
3
No,
and 6.
they're
No.
3-6.
I will say though, I kind of saw that coming. You knew TCU was going to play inspired ball, losing Gary
Losing their
Patterson
coach.
at TCU.
Or knowing that Peterson, knowing that Patterson's out, same thing as Orgeron. He's out at the end of the year.
You know,
Oh.
you know something funny. I saw something with Gary Patterson. There's some like famous pancake place, out in Fort Worth, Texas, and they have guaranteed that he will have free pancakes there for life. It's like a staple restaurant. I forgot what it's called.
This restaurant said Patterson.
Yeah, it was like, thank you, Gary Patterson, free pancakes for life. And that was, I think, a good thing to show what Gary Patterson did for TCU, because he's a big reason why they're in the Big 12.
Yeah, no, because they were they were in the Mountain West, right?
Yeah.
Along with Utah, and then they were able to jump to the Big 12 because of his success there.
Yep.
I'm
Those
still
will
surprised though that Boise didn't make the jump after that.
Well, they're like 500 right
No,
now.
I'm saying like
When they
Oh,
could have.
conference,
We're
okay.
not saying
Yeah.
right now. We're saying when
Oh.
they could have.
when
And
they could
even
have.
then, Boise State
I'm
could go
sure they could
anywhere.
have gone to the Pac-12 or the Big 12, no problem. When that last conference realignment happened,
Yeah,
They didn't
none of
want
those
to.
conferences would have wanted.
which is silly. I
Boise.
don't know
Why
why
would
you want to.
The reason why they wouldn't want to is because when they were,
They'd probably be. Well, they might not be. They wouldn't be a bottom feeder, but they'd be towards the bottom of them probably.
well, I mean, it's weird now, and even back then too is kind of weird to think about. But when you can win all your games every year, I mean, it just depends on what your priorities are. I mean, when you're Boise State in like, you know, the early or the mid 2000s, Kellen Moore and whatnot, they're winning every single game. Didn't go to any championships, but they won every game. They won their, you know, Fiesta Bowls. They won, you know, I mean, it makes you money. So I guess keep doing it.
But like, so okay, like starting off, you could keep Oregon and Ohio State there. That's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with them being ranked ahead of Notre Dame. The only teams I have an issue with being ranked ahead of Notre Dame, based off of who they played and their wins, is Michigan, Michigan State, and Oklahoma.
It's a new sound effect Custer got.
Just for you, Ryan.
That doesn't
for
make
you.
any sense.
But anyway, so this is why. Okay, again,
Going to
If you
overtime
make-
with Florida State.
Barely
Again.
beating Toledo.
barely beating Rutgers.
Barely beating Virginia Tech.
Anyway, but anyway.
My neighbors agree. My neighbors are Notre Dame fans. I'm like, we should have won that
Okay.
game. He's like, yeah, you should have won that game.
No, okay,
And he's
but I'm
not
saying
willing.
we're
And
not.
he really doesn't admit anything.
The
like
committee even said they look at improvement. Notre Dame has definitely improved since those games. They are not the same team. Okay. Anyway, if you look at those standards that the committee has set out themselves, it's not me saying what the standards are. It's when you watch the college football rankings show every week and they put up what they say they're taking into consideration. Ranked wins, strength of schedule, strength of conference championships. Okay. If you want to do that and you want to put Purdue and Wisconsin in there, then you therefore have to give Notre Dame credit for those wins.
Conference
They have not-
championships.
No,
It's not the conference.
but you have to value those wins. And it just seems to me every week, Notre Dame will move up maybe one or stay where they are, no matter what the outcome of their games are, because it's to artificially keep Notre Dame low.
Nobody
that's
cares
Cincinnati.
about keeping
Not
Notre Dame
Dude,
out.
no. This is what to artificially keep Notre Dame low so Cincinnati doesn't have a shot to get in.
No.
Because yes,
No, it's not because of that. It's because
we played more ranked opponents than Michigan State.
Okay,
Oregon.
Michigan State has a better
Combined.
win than Notre Dame has. Any win Notre Dame has, Michigan State
Okay,
has
why
a
is
better
Michigan
win.
6? What proof have we seen that Michigan?
Because
State
the committee just said that Michigan still was a better team than Michigan State.
did they win
exactly
the game
what.
though?
They
didn't
should
win
have won the game.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
okay.
But
Guys,
Okay.
move on. Guys, Ryan,
Yeah,
move on. We need to move on.
yeah.
We've been at this for half an hour. We've been at this just as long as the interview.
Yep. But anyway, enough of that. Ryan, sorry. ND's a joke. That's okay. ND
should
sucks.
be ranked number 7.
No, stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They don't have a chance at anything.
Hey,
They don't have a chance at gold, my guy.
You need to bring that up a little bit. You can't really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I
only
know.
reason why they have a chance and all those, you know, the pro football focus, all that stuff is it's ridiculous. It's because they think that they're going to go undefeated. They have no idea what they're talking about. They think Oregon's going to lose another game. That's why they only have 3% chance to make it.
Because
They have no idea what they're talking about.
Well,
I
Oregon
mean,
hasn't looked very good.
That
So, I mean,
that Utah game, Lucas. I'm just saying. I'm not.
I
Trying,
don't
I'm not.
care.
I'm
No,
not trying to
as
say
a-
that to be mean.
listen,
I'm not trying to say
listen.
to be mean.
You guys already saw what I said in the chat about that Utah game.
Yeah.
Oregon is number 3 in the country.
Didn't you call that they were going to struggle, if not outright lose to Utah?
Yes, that's what I said.
I mean, you also called them losing to
But-
Stanford too.
But this is what I'm saying is Oregon's number 3 in the country. As of right now, they should have better chances than 22 other teams, or whatever it is.
What teams have
They're in
above
the country.
Doesn't Oklahoma have like the second best odds to make it right now?
Something like that. Yeah.
No.
Well, Oklahoma has a tough back half of the schedule. You
But-
still got Baylor and Oklahoma State.
But
I just
Lucas,
think-
the reason they're doing that is because they're not just saying right now. They're projecting what they think will happen.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I think that's ridiculous, and I think that's
why
super
FPI
dumb.
is a joke, and that's why we're going to move on to this, and we are going to go to our regrets of the week. Connor, we'll start off with you on that one. Then, for those who have not tuned in, by the way, this is where we choose from our last week's pick'ems, a pick we wish we hadn't made.
Mine is picking Virginia Tech, making the switch to BC after they said Phil Jakovic was going to start, and then switching back to Virginia Tech, and then not keeping with it, because I should have realized getting Jakovic, no matter how bad he was or injured he is, is better than any quarterback Virginia Tech has right now. So that's gonna be the theme this week, is making fun of them as a fan. For me, at least, it's a it's cathartic making fun of your own team sometimes.
Yeah, Lucas.
My regret pick of the week. I actually don't remember what my regret pick was. I'm trying to look. Go ahead, Ryan.
Texas? Was that Ryan?
That was Ryan.
Ryan,
so
go. We already said it, but Ryan.
So my regret pick of the week is picking Florida State. Sorry, Andrew, for disrespecting Clemson like that and thinking that Florida State was the real FSU again, and
Yeah.
would go on the road and beat
Fake
Clemson
tomahawk.
in Death Valley.
Fake tomahawk chop. Outta
So
here.
I bought into
they
into this.
just do this. They don't even move the arm. They just
Yeah, they do.
wrist action.
It's like how Corso's wave is.
No,
I
this is the queen.
I definitely drank the FSU Kool-Aid after they were on that 3-game winning streak.
Well, Ryan, I will say you had a right to take that pick, because here's the thing that people might not realize: FSU had 20 players out with the flu, including Jordan
wow.
Travis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Because
but
otherwise,
that-
I wouldn't have taken Florida State either.
Like, I almost feel like he could get a mulligan for that, not knowing that until the end. 'cause
Well,
that's-
wasn't Clemson without like 15 scholarship players or something like that?
I mean, that's how it's been all
I
year.
mean,
We're injury
we
prone
might
as
see the
can be
Minnesota
right now.
Vikings out with nearly 30 people, players and staff. Dude,
And you know what's crazy? Another Clemson guy just transferred or entered his name in the transfer portal.
Nah,
again.
he's a relevant peasant. I don't care.
Lucas, you find your regret yet?
Yeah, so my regret pick of the week is no Knicks.
Oh yeah.
We kind of predicted that, but also I didn't think that I mean, Texas A&M is the hottest team in the country right now. I mean, other than, the top teams. So like I didn't think that they were that crazy, but picking no Knicks, that's just going to happen to you, I guess.
Yeah, so my regret pick of the week, it was a mix between like Florida State, but actually it's going to be picking West Virginia, beat Oklahoma State. Not only did they did they lose, they got annihilated. Actually, that is the fewest yards that Oklahoma State has given up in a game. I think it was 190 something. Lowest yards they've given up in the game since 1996.
Ryan, what the hell?
What
Ryan.
was it? Holy.
You good, bro?
Ryan, what is that?
You good?
I don't know. Ryan's on
He
some-
muted himself. Go ahead. Continue.
I'm trying to work on this issue we're having right now. Sorry.
Oh, him. Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's really kind of that was mine. West Virginia really let me down. Vegas got waxed at home, so I was very disappointed with that. But anyway, that's going to be our regrets of the week, and now it is time for stunners and bummers. Our stunner is our players who we think had us outstanding. It's like our player of the week, and the bummer is like kind of like our most disappointed player of the week. Connor, let's start with you.
My stunner is Aiden O'Connell, Purdue quarterback. He went 40 of 54. He went 40 of 54 for 536 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Those passing yards are the 3rd highest passing yards in program history and the 5th highest in Big Ten history. So 3 of the top 5 Purdue. Probably one of them is Drew Brees, and Ryan or Andrew thinks it might be Kyle Orton, but I have no idea. We didn't look that up, so we're not sure. Or I didn't look it up.
Well, Kyle Orton's like the only other good quarterback really to come out of Purdue, so that's the big reason I also think that.
Yeah. So, and then my bummer. Actually, I think I should go last for that. Remember what I said?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll save that for last because I can extend it into the next segment.
All right.
All right, I can go. All right, so let's go. Stunner of the week is Ty Chandler, the running back for North Carolina, former Tennessee Volunteer, 22 carries, 213 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 catch for 30 yards against the number 9 ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons. I mean, just absolutely incredible performance by this kid. Some of it was a little bit of garbage time running yards at the very end there, but I mean, what a performance, especially against an undefeated team, ranked number 9 in the country, and he just absolutely balled out. And then my bummer of the week is actually, it's pretty much the whole team, but I'm going to say Scott Frost. I know that he just got paid. And got his contract extended, but it is definitely a bummer that his team has lost. Every one of their losses are by 9 or less points. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the LA.
That's just some really. I'm not sure if it's bad luck or not, though.
It reminds me of the LA Chargers last season. I mean, they lost every one of their games by like 7 or less. So it was like it was one of those crazy things. Bad luck. I don't know. Some of the teams were just better. I think Ohio State was just simply better. Minnesota was just better on that day, at least. But I mean, like you said earlier, they're a couple 10 plays away maybe from being an undefeated team and probably in that top 4 in the country right now. So well, it's kind of crazy.
Well, the other thing is like this is still doing better than where they were years ago. Like even last year, they've been where they were getting blown out in games.
Yeah.
So at least they are
kind of weird how they might have a worse record this year than they had last year. Yet less people are pissed about Scott Frost as a coach this year than last year because of how close the games have been.
Yeah, because that's
and the fact that they've already said they're not going to fire him, they're going to keep him for next year. I think they've already come out and said that.
Yeah, he fired his whole offensive staff.
Yeah.
So he said it was worth taking a pay cut and cutting those guys to prove that he can bring in some people that he can pay more, bring in better offensive coordinators, and maybe figure it out. He's willing to take a pay cut sacrifice, but also give up some power as well, I think.
And the thing about Scott Frost too is like obviously he was Oregon's offensive coordinator when we went to the national championship in 2014. I mean he's a very bright mind. I think he's a really good coach, and he was on the no free shout outs, but Bussin' with the Boys recently with Will Compton, and Will Compton obviously from Nebraska, diehard Nebraska fan like through and through. He has been very critical of Nebraska this season and just in general, and the fact that he's actually advocating to keep Scott Frost that says wonders, I think. So who knows where Nebraska is going to end up going? I think they're still going to be kind of the doormat to Ohio State in the Big Ten, but they're heading in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, your picks?
All right, so for my stunner this week, I'm going to go like a little group of 5, give some group of 5 a little bit of love on the show. I don't know if this is Blaine Gabbert's brother or something like that, but Brett Gabbert, the quarterback from Miami of Ohio, went 37 for 55 completions for 492 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 159.7 QB rating.
I was wondering, how is college football quarterback rating so much higher than NFL?
No idea.
Because I think the highest you can get is like over 270 or like well over 200 in college for a
Oh
game.
yeah. But this dude, like, I looked and watched the highlights. This dude was a freaking stud, and it wasn't like it was against the worst team in the MAC either. It was against Ohio, who's every year pretty like they're.
My cousin went to Ohio, so I've kind of followed them a lot recently, and they're pretty good. Or they've been consistently in the middle to the upper part of the MAC for the past.
I mean, they won the MAC, not even the championship a few years ago. But
Yep.
I mean, also the fact that Miami, Ohio held them to 3 points. And then for my bummer, we thought Bo Nix was maybe getting his Heisman campaign finally on a roll until Bo
So no Knicks kidnapped Bo and put him in the
No
closet.
Knicks for Heisman.
No Knicks for Heisman.
No Knicks.
his
No
twin
Knicks for
brother.
Heisman. No Knicks for Heisman is what it should be.
Evidently, the night before the Texas A&M game, no Nix. Bo Nix's evil twin brother just came in and kidnapped him and decided to take his place because Auburn could only score 3 points against a really bad Texas A&M defense. I mean, not only that, but going 20 for 41, completing only 48% of his passes for only 53 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And a QB rating of 48.9.
That is quintessential no Knicks right there.
Shit. Terrible.
Well, I guess that leaves me. My
Just
stunner
have me.
of the week, I'm actually going to go with 2 because I couldn't decide between them. So I just decided to go with 2 specifically. Josh Johnson, wide receiver at Penn State, 11 catches, 242 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaging 22 yards per catch in their 31-14 win over Maryland. It's also going to give the group of 5 some love as well. And Dwayne McBride, running back for UAB, 14 carries, 210 yards, 4 touchdowns, 15 yards per carry.
Jeez.
And almost he
Baller.
scored a little more than like every 3 rushes he was scoring a touchdown. That's insane. So both of them, I couldn't decide between both of them. I was just too impressed by both, really, to like really not give any of them love. And now my bummer of the week is Alabama's rushing offense, which had a total of 6 yards running the football. That is the worst Alabama
That's
has
something
done.
Alabama's defense would do to other teams, not Alabama's offense. Jeez.
We're not. Kirby Smart's not there, so no.
Derrick Henry would be rolling in his grave.
He is rolling on the sideline.
Pretty much is right now.
Even Trevor Richardson is rolling in his grave.
Yeah.
Rolling wherever he is.
I mean, all of them. Look at them all. TJ Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, all those guys.
All of them
No,
must have been
But the
robbed.
last time they were held to this yards, this was tied for the lowest in school history. The last time they had this was in 1990 against Penn State. Also, LSU, besides 2 other games this year against McNeese State and Central Michigan, they have allowed over 100+ yards against everybody else.
Including, I think they allowed over like 200 to Florida in that game.
Yes. So
And I think UCLA had like posted 2 also. Like,
yeah.
Well, they're playing for the Coach O. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but this past week, a lot of the LSU players came out and said that they really don't agree with
The situation.
yeah.
They
And
want.
so they
You want to keep them because I swore.
a lot of the LSU players said they don't want Coach O to go.
I swore there
And
were
that-
more players that were saying they were done with this shtick.
There were a few, but a lot of it's
The
like
majority.
the team
aren't.
yes.
The majority want.
They said that they're playing the rest of this year for Coach O, and that they hope that they can finish it with a bowl win.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So. Oh, sorry.
But basically, yeah, I mean, I can see that. And, but still, come on, Bama. You have Brian Robinson, who's one of the best backs in the SEC, and one of the best backs in the country for the fact, and you only got 6 rushing yards. I don't care what LSU is doing. Come on, they are not on your level this season. Bryce Young played pretty good, but come on. That is not a good
What
sign.
was the stats for the carries? Like how many people got carries?
Let me go look at that real
If
quick.
it's like
Actually,
double digit.
Brian Robinson had 13 carries for 18 yards.
So the reason why they lost them all was sacks.
Sacks?
22 for Bryce Young on 9 carries.
Because sacks count.
But
right.
still, they didn't even do that well with that because even if you take that away, they only have 28 rushing yards from all their running backs and guys who carry the football. That's still not good against LSU, whose defense has been very mad this year. LSU easily outrushed them. 109 yards to a total of 6 yards. That's not a good sign. But anyway, enough of that. It is time for.
I didn't do my bummer. Remember?
Oh yeah, your bummer.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot you were doing that at the end.
It's the transition into the next segment too. My bummer was Justin Fuente, head coach of Virginia Tech, and oh my God, Justin Tucker missed a field goal. Holy shit!
Is it World Cup?
That's crazy. I guess so.
So when a Virginia Tech beat writer describes a coach's post-game press conference as lifeless, you know that coach sees the writing on the wall. He knows how this is going to end. That was 17-3, nearly ended the one last remaining streak that's important to Virginia Tech fans, which is the third longest scoring streak in the country at like 340 something games. It's been going on since like 92 or something, since Frank Beamer took over as coach. It's just, we all know Virginia Tech at this point. I think if he's not fired by the day after the regular season's over, I don't know what to think anymore.
Well, to be fair, I will give Fuente a little bit of slack here. He didn't have the best receiver in the ACC Coastal Division. So,
actually, that I could argue that might be true. Actually, or he's up there in Trey Turner.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But anyways, guys, that's it for our stunners and bummers. It is now time for our good old meme teams of the week, and it's, of course, basically a team that underperformed and was a joke and very disappointed disappoint everybody. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off with mine actually this week because I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I actually just found it. Funny enough. So let me go ahead and pull that up here real quick. And here we go. And it is my man, Bo and Auburn. This Bo, I know, Barstool Big Cat is goaded, and this tweet is spot on. I was like, yes.
It's all the dude perfect attempts that they don't show you during the video. It's all the attempts.
Yes, but Barstool Big Cat. I love a lot of his tweets. They're hilarious, and this one's just spot on. This Bo did not know in this game. Auburn did not know, by the way, in this game. He had 153 yards passing. A QBR of 26.2 and they also only had 73 rushing yards. They also had a total of 2 turnovers. Just a very, very whack game for them. Just so disappointing. And yeah, Texas A&M completely outgained them overall in the game. They had over 400 yards scoring. Yeah, they couldn't finish it off, but at least they were able to score more than just 3 points, even though the one touchdown did come off of a turnover on the defensive play. But still, definitely A&M. I'm 100% my main team of the week. And with that, we will take it over to Connor.
Yeah, it's Virginia Tech yet again. Football used to be good ones. Do you have the memes that Lucas made?
The ones that I have the one that Lucas did for himself. I didn't have this one.
You don't have the ones that Lucas made? Lucas made one where it's me trying to put out a fire, and it's just flaring.
I didn't see that one. I didn't
love
see that
that
one.
Face, and it's just my face from me when I'm driving my boat. I'm just like, please, God, help me.
I can send it in if you want to show the fans.
absolutely hilarious.
Lucas can send it and you can show it later. But yeah, it's Virginia Tech again. For an offensive genius, Virginia Tech's offense has not been very good. They've had 44 straight games where they've not had over 500 yards of offense, the longest such streak in the country. The last game to have over 500 yards was their loss against ODU in 2018. That destroyed my love for them briefly. And since that game, Virginia Tech is 21 and 23. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say at this point. Like, I'm not the type to rant, and I don't even know how to properly rant, really. But you know, I
really don't.
No, I don't. Like, I can't rant properly. It's just me being like, I've accepted my position. Unfortunately, like, I can't get mad when I know just how bad the team is. Maybe it's because I'm not used to long-term success. So it's just like,
Beamer was successful for a while.
No, but ever since I got there's been one good season. Well, two really good seasons. 2016, maybe 2017, and 2017, arguably.
It's funny because when I got to Clemson, they started doing the opposite.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even when I got to Virginia Tech, that was the beginning of the downturn because they hadn't been good really since 2011 or 12. And then
it was when we smacked them in the ACC championship game in 2011. That's when
weren't they
things
pretty
went downhill.
good when Notre Dame beat them on the road? Like when we went to the playoff, like they were decent.
What 20 was that last
18,
year? The year 2018.
Yeah, they were okay. They were better in 2017. I felt like, or 2016.
We were better in 2017. We beat. I think you guys. We didn't beat you. We played. I remember we beat Clemson or no, not Clemson.
No,
we played Clemson in 2016. Took them to
In
the
the
wire championship.
yeah.
And then 2017 we played them again. We got College Game Day, and I went to that game.
And you made Kelly B look like a god.
Yeah, we did. when Virginia Tech said would make Kelly Bryant look good, then that's a God-given gift.
Hey,
Connor, it's like how Notre Dame made DJ Uyunglele look good. So that's a God-given gift too. Nope.
But Connor, I did want to say this really quick before you had it, because that meme that we talked about that Lucas made, I just thought it would be hilarious if we made a meme with Fuente in a burning house and the firefighters are trying to and you yell them and tell them to let
Lucas
it burn.
did one where it's like, I think Lucas did another one where it's me, like the girl that's standing in front of a burning fire, and then the girl's like looking back at the camera, kind of like smiling, like, haha, I set the fire. And I think it was my face, and then Fuente was stuck in the fire, and I'm just like watching it burn or something.
I did make that one.
You did make that one. I couldn't. I thought it was making it up. I thought it was just lying there, but I guess you did make that one.
I did. I think I deleted it though. But the other one that I sent, the one that I sent in the chat just now, is pretty funny. That one's a really good one. It's like a perfect face that I got off your Instagram. Oh man, it's funny.
Yeah, you need to find it. Send it to
Lucas, bruh.
It's in the group chat right now.
Yeah, you gotta try and find it again. It's somewhere in the chat, dude. It's far back because you made that.
No, it's right here. Lucas just resent it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put it.
Costa, you gotta bring it up.
All right,
Lucas, you do yours while he brings it up.
I'll pull it up. Yeah, but in the meantime, let's go with Lucas's here.
All right. So my meme team of the week is Wake Forest. Pretty much all day. The commentators were pointing out that there's two Sam H's playing against each other. Actually, they are very good friends. But also all day we were hearing from our very own Ryan that Wake Forest needs to get some respect. Well,
you played this.
We were up by 18, and we're like, oh, okay, now they're looking good, and then nope.
Yeah, no, they had a 20-point lead and they blew it.
And they
longhorned for sure.
Yeah, they deaconing. They're deaconing.
So they're deaconing. So the last actually 4 of the last 5 weeks, they've given up 34 or more points on defense. They've been able to outscore some of these teams, obviously, but when you face a guy like Sam Howell, it's very hard to have a terrible defense and just give up that many
Well, their
points.
defense
and not
also,
pay
like,
for
for whatever reason, they were playing pretty decent. And then when they went up by 20, it's like they forgot that they were supposed to stop the other team.
Yeah, I mean, giving up, I can maybe give you, giving up 37 to Syracuse in that overtime game, because Syracuse actually has a decent offense, but
Army
giving up
it's just a team
56 to Army is just terrible.
Well,
Yeah,
And
I
then-
don't want to hear any excuses for that, Ryan.
Can we all agree, though,
No.
that Wake Forest should have won this game?
No.
No.
Kind of how Michigan State had a 30 to 14.
If Coster and Lucas are not willing to say that Michigan should have won, then
No,
Well,
here's
they said Michigan should have
the
won.
difference. Here's the difference. The fact that North Carolina sucks. They're not good.
Yeah.
That's the
North Carolina
difference.
Virginia Tech, because we beat them.
Michigan and Michigan State are both good teams.
Okay, but Sam Howell is a better quarterback than anyone in the Big Ten.
I mean, he hasn't
I
looked like that
disagree.
this season.
He
this
just
year.
doesn't have a lot of help this year. He lost all that.
I disagree. CJ Stroud is better.
But
anyways, yeah, so Sam H, the better Sam H, got the victory. And I think it's pretty funny. Honestly, and Andrew and I were talking about this before the show, we honestly think that Wake Forest could end the season with 3, maybe they could even lose the rest of their games. I mean, against North Carolina State next week or this
they're
week.
going to lose their next
play-
two. I'm calling it right now.
They play
No.
Clemson, and then they have Phil Dracovic in the last game of the season. Like, they
Yep.
could
Guys,
very
they
easily
literally
lose the rest of their
We're
games.
up by 20 plus, and they just gave the game away.
Okay, yeah. North Carolina's defense is terrible. They can score on them for a quarter and a half.
Well, also the fact that
Clemson's gonna
they got
eat
way
them.
too aggressive. They got way too. Sam Hartman was forcing stuff down the field when they had a 20-point lead and got.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah, if you're supposed to be a Heisman contender, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, come on. They were saying these Heisman contenders. There's a chance right there to put that game away. And what happened?
And took a page right out of the Atlantic Falcons playbook.
Hey. We beat the Saints. The Saints out Falconed the Falcons last week. The Braves are world champions. That curse is sailed.
No.
Stop.
You had a
Stop,
98%
stop.
chance to beat the Saints last week, and you let them come back.
But Ryan,
guess
here's the
what?
deal.
We won.
Here's the deal. College football. NFL is irrelevant because the Titans are the best team. Doesn't matter. So here's the deal. I said the same thing about Oregon. They got too aggressive against UCLA, and UCLA came back into that game. Oregon is the number 3 team in the country, and that's why they closed out that game. Wake Forest didn't close out that game. They gave it up. They got too aggressive, and they gave it up. And that's why they're not one of the top teams in the country. It's just simple as that.
They will lose their next 2 games.
Okay, Ryan, we've got to move it on. Come on, guys.
Okay.
All right, Ryan. Your main team is, I believe,
Texas.
So
Texas is back, folks. Not this time. You're wrong. We're back. No, we got you.
When Texas wins tonight
No way.
against the mighty SEC,
No way.
Texas is back.
This one was invented by a writer.
Dude, Coster, your
Yes.
girlfriend's firing shots right now in the comments, saying that the Falcons and the Braves are overrated.
she's a freaking Ravens fan.
The only reason why the Braves won it is because of tanking. They already said it. It's already
Apparently,
came
yeah.
out. Just saying.
Yeah.
But like I gotta give Texas this again. I mean, they were 4-1, feeling really good going to that Oklahoma game. Lucas was really high on his boy Casey Thompson as Man Crush Monday, and last 4 weeks in a
Hendon Hooker
row.
still has my heart.
The last 4 weeks, Texas has went into halftime with a lead. Like it was either a 7 or plus lead, and has blown it in the second half.
So and now they play Kansas. They play Kansas this
Oh
week.
no, 2016
And it's
all
all-
over again.
And it's on the road at Kansas.
Jayhawks
So-
win. I just
So-
remember Alan Bestwick, who is been a NASCAR commentator for the longest time, was calling that game. I don't know why they had him calling football. He's called
what
some
game?
crazy games.
What game?
The Kansas-Texas game in 2016. And he just had the perfect comment. Jayhawks win. It's just like it was the perfect way to do it. It just made me laugh.
Didn't they storm the field when they beat Texas?
They
And
did.
Texas was
They did.
terrible that game.
Yes.
But like
I think they
again,
pulled down a goalpost too.
Yeah.
Orange
Also,
down.
here's Connor's meme, by the way. Let me pull that up. That is pretty
yes.
This is pretty good.
Connor trying to put out the fire.
You should have done it with Connor or Justin Fuente with that "This is fine" meme too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
This is
that's
fine.
fine.
I mean, that's pretty
fine.
much that's pretty much
Just
what
let him
his go-to
burn.
for the past year and a half has been. It's fine. We'll figure it out, and everything's just on fire.
Yeah.
So
oh gee.
yeah, that's great. That is fantastic.
All right. Well, that is going to do it then for our meme teams of the week. So, if I remember correctly, we have a special guest coming on the show today. Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
is he coming?
He is coming. He's on his way. He just had a seminar that he had to do. So he's on his way home. He said he'd let me know when he's ready.
Okay.
So that was about 20 minutes ago. So it should be any moment. So if we wanted to do unis of the week this week,
Well,
We
I
don't have
didn't
any
do one
photos
of
for
those.
we
I
didn't
didn't have the
yeah.
photos for that, bro. Man, the one time we can do it. All right. Well, in the meantime, we're gonna do our pick'em scores and also update one of the pick'ems which we all did earlier this week, and that was North Carolina Pitt. I wanted to do this one because I think it was important for us to make picks in this game, and we all took Pitt. And an update on that game. Pitt is, last I checked, was up 23-7. And so it looks like we all made the right choice. Yes, Pitt is up 23-7, and they are driving again with 1 minute 10 to go in the first half.
so taking Pitt was the way to go.
Yes, so that's an all point for us. Now I will pull up. You're lucky now, Ryan. I'm not going to have to go demand you to go quickly find all the scores.
Well, I already have it. So
Oh, well, I had it too. So in first place, dum 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 dum, drum roll please. Your boy, holla at your boy. It's me with 103. And in second place, the guy who was leading for a while and now is just keeps having to play catch up, Connor.
I don't know you went like 17-3. Like you
1 week, I just went on a tear.
Yeah, you went on a tear like 2 straight weeks. I think I was up by like 6 or 7 at one point.
you were.
And Connor has 99. In third place, Lucas with 96.
Another one.
And in last, and definitely least, like Notre Dame is, since they're just Notre Dame, Ryan.
You saved the best for last.
Worst for last. We don't say it the best.
Definitely saved the worst, but not the best.
With 93. So
You know
Ryan,
him.
you are 10 behind me. So
You
you're
know
gonna
him.
hope I fumble the bag this upcoming weeks.
Well, you know what? It pisses me off because every week I picked against Clemson and Oregon just like they tease me. They're like, you know what? We're gonna make this game really close.
No,
It's gonna
they
be a
hear Ryan's
one-score game.
picking.
And it's like we're gonna make Ryan think, oh, he's gonna get this pick right, and then it's like, oh, Washington just fumbles the bag.
I predicted that we were going to win this game by 10. By the way,
That's hilarious. I said Clemson. Hey, guess what? Clemson has covered a spread twice now in a row. Hell must be freezing over. And I actually found out why, because Blake Harris hasn't betted for them to cover. Good teams win. Great teams cover. And guess what?
And bad teams have really bad beats against them.
Oh, God. That Florida State one might be the baddest beat.
No, the
of all
worst
time.
one I still think is I know it's NFL, but it was the Ravens Browns game last year, the Lamar game where they kicked the field goal and then the Browns.
Oh, was that the shit in his pants game? I wanted to put into better words, but that's all I could think of. I'm sorry.
You could just say the cramping, or he had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
yes.
Did Lamar ever like confirm that that's what he was doing?
No, but he pretty much pulled a Paul Pierce team. So
oh my God.
Wasn't he in there for like 45 minutes?
He was there for like midway through the third quarter to.
What did that man eat? That's what I want to know.
He was in that man in the fourth quarter, so he had to go to the bathroom, and then he started cramping because he pooped out too much.
See, that's why you tell Lamar before the game, hey, don't eat those spicy wings before the game.
No, just the Chipotle.
Has Lamar never heard of ever heard of the PGS, the pregame shit? Like that was always a must.
Yeah, you got to do that, dude. I won't even go to the bathroom. I would try to not go to the bathroom.
Because I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right, so our guy is ready. He's going to hop in here soon.
Okay. Cool. So for the record, guys.
I love how we've extended it by talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Can I ask him how bad? Can I ask him how bad they're gonna get beat against UTSA this week?
God, no.
Okay. No. For the record, this guy does play.
I love how. He's probably a good sport. Come on,
guys. We had 8 people watching. We're down to 4 because we started talking about that.
About Lamar.
Well, I blame Ryan because this guy's taking too long to hurry up to show up. So, guys, come back.
Guys, come back, please. Well, hey, while we're waiting, let's give a little shout out.
Oh yes, happy Veterans Day, by the way, to all those great servicemen and women who have fought for our country to keep us this country great, so we can have the great sports like football, baseball, and basketball, especially college football. I want to say, if there's any veterans watching, I thank you for your service. My granddad was fought in the Air Force in Vietnam, so this is a important day to me as well. Just so, and I know Lucas has had. I believe you said your granddad was also fought in Vietnam as well, right? As a medic.
Yes, he did. I think it was a medic. I can't remember exactly what he did, but he was in the service in Vietnam as well. So.
But yeah,
neither of my grandfathers actually saw combat though. One was in France during the Korean War, I think. I don't know why.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then one of them was in Korea, but it was after the war. As part of like the keys.
Yeah. My grandpa fought in the Air Force in Vietnam, so.
Oh, Air Force gang. Yeah. But I actually did also a semester of ROTC when I was at Clemson. Fun fact. I kind of had to quit because of my asthma. That kind of made me stop. Kind of sad. It was a cool experience though. Definitely even made me gain more respect for what we have to do. And also I got to be on Pro Show crew. I was on the field for 2 games, which is pretty fun.
Oh, you got to be on the sidelines hyping people up?
Yeah, I'll have to send you all a picture of that. It was actually really fun. And you have to do push-ups every time Clemson scores. You have to hold this thing up when the Tigers doing the push-up. It's like a big plank. It's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I did enjoy it. I wish I had gotten to do it a little more though.
You know what I wish they would? I wish they would let in college football, kind of like how they do with NFL, for Veterans Day weekend, let the players wear camo versions of gloves and stuff. I don't know.
Well, look at Mississippi State's uniforms this week. They're all American flag camoed out.
For Clemson, you could do an orange camo version of the gloves or whatever.
Well, actually, Dabo wears usually camo pants for their purple game, which is we do the purple out it's our military appreciation game because purple represents the military for us because Clemson was a military school. So that is why we do the purple out, is to honor the veteran or our military members. And it's actually this weekend, and I am lucky enough I'm going to be able to go to that game. My first time in almost 2 years, so I am very excited about that.
I'm honestly surprised you guys.
What's going on with your sound coaster?
What?
Yeah, your
Your sound just like dropped off all of a sudden. Really weird thing.
Oh, that's weird. Might be because I have it on automatically adjusting the audio.
So if you move back,
Yeah, that probably is why. But I'm really excited to go back up to Clemson this year. Or I haven't been to a game in Death Valley since 2019. So
I'm honestly surprised you guys have never, like, for the Clemson helmet, like the logo, because, you know, some teams will put, like, the American flag partially in the white part of the logo. I'm surprised you guys have never done that. That would actually look kind of sick.
I actually agree with that. I think it would be. I think they just like to keep it classic. I think a lot of fans, I think our fans would be cool with it. But I like what we do with the purple. It's just a really unique game. I will say that unfortunately Clemson is probably not going to cover this week because Vegas decided to put us as 41-point favorites.
Against who?
I was actually going to talk about that. UConn, like, so is DJ playing?
Probably.
Okay, because I heard that they weren't sure if he was going to be.
I mean, regardless, we're going to win that game.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I thought that was hilarious that you guys are playing UConn.
Yeah.
Do you even think they'd actually get above 40 points?
Well, I mean, that's like playing SC State. We were able to do that then, so I'm sure we will.
The real question is, UConn even get a touchdown?
Oh.
What's his name, Byron? By the way, before I add him.
Cameron Hurrell.
Okay. All right. So joining us today is from Southern Miss college football player Cam Hurrell. Cam, welcome to the show, man. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, man. Glad to have you join us. So, what's it like being a college football player at a school like Southern Miss? I mean, you're in the South. I mean, yeah, Southern Miss hasn't had the best season, but it's still cool to be like even playing for a big school at Southern Miss. We just had guys like Brett Favre and stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's been a blessing to play college football. You know, especially playing at the level that we are. I mean, there's a lot of people that pray, you know, to be in the position that I'm in. So you can't do anything but take it, you know, for advantage, take advantage of it.
What's your definitely your biggest moment so far? You think your most memorable moment you've had since playing college ball?
I mean, for me, it's always just playing with my brothers, you know, playing with the people I've really built relationships with and being able to bond with them and, you know, let out all of our emotions and our excitement out on the field.
What was it like playing with Frank Gore's son?
Oh, yeah. Frank, he's a character. He's really good.
Is he a lot like his dad?
I mean, I've never really met his dad personally, but, like, I mean, their play style is definitely different. He's a smaller kid, but like you can tell he's like growing and developing into his body a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He still has time to grow and develop for real. So, yeah, he plays really well. To be honest, he's very elusive.
That's really cool, man.
That's awesome.
Do you guys have any other questions you want to ask him?
Not really, actually. I think it is really cool to have you to join us. This is a big thing for us. We just had Coach Hugh Freeze on earlier.
Yeah,
we had interviewed him yesterday. So, what's the craziest or wildest stadium or school that you guys have played at?
Alabama. We played
at Alabama.
Yeah, we played in Bryant-Denny, so that was an experience of a lifetime.
Still need to go to a game there.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, it is time for the pick-ems with our guest speaker. With the guest speaker being Southern Miss, I figured we should put Southern Miss's game in here. Oh, but unfortunately, it is against UTSA. I know this is going to be a tough one for you guys, but hey, who knows? Anything is possible this season in college football, and we certainly think y'all can pull the upset.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're confident in every game that we play. We're gonna go out there and give our all as a team, do what we do. But I mean, upsets do happen. You never know. I mean, I know for me, I go in every game thinking I'm gonna win and trying to be the best player that I can be. So
that's good. But anyway, guys, who are we gonna take here? UTSA or Southern Miss or UTSA? Connor?
As much as Cam's support of his own team is very admirable, I'm gonna have to go with the Road Runners. They've been looking really good, and I'm glad to see that they're ranked this year, or finally ranked in the by the playoff committee. I think it's well deserved for them. But obviously, Cam, I wish you nothing but good luck out there, and if you pulled an upset, I wouldn't be mad.
No, I wouldn't be mad either. We'd be happy. We'd be like, hey, we know that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I get it.
Lucas?
All right, so listen, here's the deal. Screw the pick'ems. I'm always for the boys. So I'm taking Southern Miss here. Always for the boys.
Yes, sir.
Gotta.
All right. I like that.
See, Lucas stole my thunder there. I got to stick with my boy Cam. We played high school ball together, so I got to stick with it. Go Southern Miss and the Golden Eagles. Going to pull the big upset.
The only reason I'm going to take UTSA is because I don't want Carr to catch me in the pick'ems, but I will say I only win by a field goal, and you get a pick six, my boy.
Golden Eagles is a great mascot name, by the way.
I know.
I love that.
All right, well now, so after we got Cam's awesome Southern Miss Golden Eagles, now we're going to get on to Wyoming, Boise State.
I'm doing what you're doing, Coster, and just picking immediately upon seeing it.
Hey, that's my thing. Go back to writing it down.
I don't care. I'm just doing it now. I was too busy doing other stuff. Boise State, they finally ended that losing streak. I'm gonna go with I think they're gonna keep it rolling. So I'm gonna take Boise.
Lucas?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the boy Cyrus and BB Leakio. Go Boise.
Brian?
Yeah, go Broncos. It's just after that win they had last week, pretty impressive. So yeah.
Cam?
I was definitely going with Boise State too.
Yeah, I'm going with Boise too. Go Broncos. Hey, I think they're better than their record shows. I think they've lost a lot of close ones. Syracuse at Louisville.
I'm gonna go with Syracuse. I think their offense, they've shown that their offense is a bit better than people think. They like Lucas mentioned a few shows ago. They have one of the best running backs in the conference, and so I think Syracuse will go in there and beat Louisville.
Yeah, Syracuse is going to win. Sean Tucker, I think the best running back in the country, has the most yards out of anybody. So got to go Syracuse.
I really want to go with Louisville here. I love Malik Cunningham. I love him as a quarterback. Came up just a little bit short, tripped himself up against Clemson this past week. But Syracuse is just really good this year. Their 5-4 record doesn't tell the whole story. So, yeah, go with the Qs.
Definitely wrong with the orange on this one.
Wow, I'm going to be the only one going with the Cards. I think Louisville is better than their record shows, just like how you all say with Syracuse. I think Louisville, the most they've lost by a game is like 13. They almost beat Wake, almost beat Clemson. I'm going to go, wow, okay. Well, this could be make or break for me. This might be my regret pick. UCF at SMU. SMU's on a 2-game losing streak. UCF seems to have kind of gotten it together after they were struggling midway through the year.
Man, yeah. SMU on that 2-game losing streak. I was really pulling for them to go undefeated to face Cincinnati undefeated and ranked in top 20, top 15 maybe. And the playoff committee gives Cincinnati a good win, potentially a good game. But I think that they're too good. Their quarterback's too good with Tanner Mordecai, and the offense is too good to be shut down. And I think they can win in a shootout. So I'm going to go. I'm still going to think they're going to end it. So go Mustangs.
Yeah, SMU is going to win this, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pony Express. Go SMU.
SMU all the way. Their offense is too explosive for me.
Yep. Pony Excess, actually, as the 30 for 30 film was called. Great 30 for 30, by the way, if you haven't seen it. 10 out of 10 recommend. UAB at Marshall.
Man, UAB is a great story. Coming back from not having a program a few years ago to winning their conference the year that they came back and showing that they're one of the better group of 5 schools. And of course, we all know what happened with Marshall years long time ago. I think Marshall will win at home. I think that they beat Appalachian State, I believe, correct?
No, they lost that one by 1.
Oh, they lost that one. Okay. Well,
they did beat FAU last week, though.
They beat FAU. Well, I mean, they kept it close to Appalachian State, who beat Coastal. So I think Marshall. I think will eke it out, maybe by field goal.
Yeah, I got Marshall as well.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how Marshall's played the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, go Big Green.
I'm rolling with UAB on this one. I know.
Oh, wow.
I played UAB earlier in the season, so I kind of have a good feeling for their offense and their run scheme. They got some good coaches who scheme up some good things for the weeks coming. So I got confidence.
All
All right, I'm not.
Like it.
It's time to go for a Lee Corso on you. Not so fast, my friend. Going Marshall. But I do respect the UAB pick though. I love rooting for
And
them.
the fact they're called the Dragons, that's also
The
That is
Blazers.
actually a cool name. Or the Blazers.
the Blazers, but they have a dragon as a
Yeah, no, it's gnarly. It is. Iowa State at Texas Tech.
Iowa State. They just beat a ranked Baylor team. Texas Tech, I think, is reeling a little bit. Is still going to be reeling a bit from losing their head coach. I think they lost. They lost last week. So I think Iowa State is going to keep keep the momentum rolling. Go Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm going Iowa State as well. Texas Tech just hasn't been the same since Tyler Shuck went down, so gotta go with Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Iowa State as well. I think Brock Purdy and Breece Hall have kind of figured things out the last couple of weeks outside of that one hiccup against West Virginia. Yeah, so give me the Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm also rolling with the Cyclones on this one.
Iowa State's defense really bounced back after a terrible performance against West Virginia. I think they do the same this week. Give me the Cyclones. Utah State at San Jose State. I mean, fun fact, I wouldn't usually put this game in here, but San Jose State is a 4.5-point favorite in this game, which I still am trying to scratch my head at because Utah State is a good football team.
Yeah, I mean San Jose State. They lose to San Diego State last week?
Yeah, I think it was barely though, if I remember correctly.
Barely. So maybe. I'm not buying that. I don't know what Vegas knows. They probably just don't want all the money on Utah State, but I'm gonna take Utah State though. I think they're a really good team this year, obviously with that 7-2 record, upper echelon of the Mountain West. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna take San Jose State. I think Starkel is a really good quarterback, and he's had some problems this year so far, but he's gonna come up big in this one.
So Utah State and like this game to me, it's like I'm really on the fence about just because the Mountain West has been so crazy this year. With Fresno, Nevada, Boise State all just beating up on each other. So I wouldn't be surprised.
West.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow San Jose stole this game. But I got to go with the Fighting Jordan Loves on this game.
Definitely. I'm rolling with Utah State on this one over San Jose.
100% agreeing with you. I'm going with my boy who used to play at Utah State. DJ Williams was one of my favorite guys I made a highlight tape for. When he was good when the last time they were good back in 2018, I believe. I'm going with the Aggies. I forgot the Aggies. Gig 'em. Louisiana at Troy.
Troy came through for me last week or a few weeks ago. Had a great saying with that. Lucas wasn't here for that, but I'm going to take Louisiana. They've been really looking good. They've carried their momentum from last year over to this season. So I think the Raging Cajuns are going to take it. Wait, are they the Raging Cajuns or is that?
Yes. They are the Raging Cajuns.
I always get them and the other Louisiana Lafayette mixed up. I can't never remember which is which.
Yeah, I'm taking Louisiana as well. I think after this win, they're going to end up being ranked next week.
Yeah, I'm going to go Louisiana this game, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Troy pulled the upset. Louisiana has played really shaky the past couple weeks, and don't forget, Troy only a week ago almost took down Coastal Carolina. So, yeah,
good point.
Go with the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I like Louisiana with this game too. I know it's a little biased. I played Troy early in the season as well, so I kind of have a feel for how those guys play, how they move, and stuff like that. And I think Louisiana's got this one.
Yeah, I like Louisiana. Bill Napier. Crazy that he was on that 2016 Alabama coaching staff with Mel and Kirby Smart and who else was on there? Mario. I didn't realize like Mario and Mel are on there, but yeah, I'm going with Louisiana on this one. The battle for the Golden Boot, Arkansas at LSU.
If LSU can play the way they did against Alabama, I think they could win this. And they like we were talking about before. LSU says the players are saying they're playing their hearts out for Coach O this year. Arkansas is on, I think, a 2-game winning streak. Is that if I remember correctly? So they've kind of seemed to figure it out. I think it'll be kept close by LSU, but if the run defense that they usually have shows up, Arkansas is going to run all over them like they did against Texas. I'm going to take the Razorbacks.
Well, jeez, grumble. LSU is going to win this game. I think they're playing inspired right now, especially after that game last week. And I think they're going to take down the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I agree with Lucas on this one. I'm pretty sure. Is this a night game?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, night games at LSU are really hard to win in that. It's really hard to win in that stadium at night. And this team is definitely playing a lot more inspired. So yeah, they're going to win this one for Coach O.
Yeah, I'm also rolling with LSU.
Yep, night game in the fake Death Valley. Give me LSU.
This could be my regret pick.
Yeah, right.
Hey, this could catch you up too. Nevada at San Diego State.
I like that. This is a really good matchup too. Obviously, looking at the records, I think if Nevada wins, you could argue they might be able to be ranked because they've been playing really well. San Diego State looking like the class of the Mountain West right now. I think they're going to keep it rolling though. Go Aztecs.
I'm going with Carson Strong here. Like I said earlier, I don't think San Diego State is the top 25 team in the country. I think Nevada is closer to that than they are. So I'm going with Carson Strong in Nevada.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Wolfpack in this game as well. Carson Strong is the best quarterback in the Mountain West and maybe top 10 quarterback in college football as well. So yeah, give me the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Nevada as well. I agree with. I don't think San Diego State should be a top 25, team in my personal opinion. But Nevada has been playing a lot of good football this year.
Great pick, my friend. I like that too.
I'm the only one taking San Diego State.
Yeah, no, I think San Diego State's overrated. I don't think that they're gonna win this one either. Plus, the early loss has come at home when they lost to Fresno.
Especially struggling with UNLV, San Jose State, and Air Force back weeks.
Maryland at number 7, Michigan State.
Michigan State. Maryland. Tua's a good enough, not Tua, Tualia, however you want to say his first name. I don't know. He's a good enough quarterback. He could challenge them, but I think Michigan State will learn from their loss to Purdue, and I think they'll come out swinging and try and prove the committee that they still deserve to be in the top 4 at the end of the season. So go Spartans.
Yeah, I see the Spartans winning this mostly because I just don't think Maryland's very good. So, yeah, Spartans.
So, I'm going to go with Michigan State in this one. I think Kenneth Walker is just too much of a beast for Maryland's defense to be able to handle. I still think Kenneth Walker is up like top 3 for Heisman right now, even though they did lose to Purdue. It wasn't his fault. So, yeah, give me the Fighting Kenneth Walkers.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Michigan State too. Their run game is just too powerful, and I don't think Maryland's defense can be able to keep up with Kenneth Walker in that. Plus, you got to think about it. Purdue too. Purdue, they just seem to be the David to everybody's Goliath. So they just
they really do.
So I can't really take that away from them.
That's a great way to put it, man. I like that. I like that analogy. And I'm going with Michigan State as well. I think they're gonna have a big bounce back game. They're gonna be playing pissed off, and they're gonna win this one comfortably. Mississippi State at Auburn.
Jeez. As long as no Nix doesn't show up and Bo Nix shows up, Auburn should win. Is this a night game or not?
Let me double check on that. I believe it is not. It is a noon. Or it was a noon kickoff.
Oof.
I'm still going to take Auburn. I still, despite how bad Nix was last week, I still trust him a little bit more than whoever Mississippi State is putting out there. Quarterback, I don't even know. So I'm going to take Auburn. I think they'll have a bounce back.
So, you know what's actually pretty funny about that, not knowing who Mississippi State's quarterback is? He's actually one of the semifinalists for the Davey O'Brien Award, and that is Will Rogers. And Will Rogers is going to go out there, and they're going to get it done and beat number 17 Auburn.
I would hope a guy in Mike Leach's system would be a semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award every year.
That's true. Very true.
So looking at this game, I mean, we all said it last week when the first college football playoff rankings came out that Mississippi State had no business being ranked. The only reason they were ranked was because of the win against Kentucky.
I didn't say that. I thought they should have been ranked.
No, I'm saying most of us said that.
I didn't think they should have been ranked.
I don't think this Mississippi State team is very good. Their defense is solid. The offense is okay. But I think Bo Nix is going to come back this game and actually have a Bo Nix-like performance.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to take Mississippi State for this one.
Ooh.
Hey,
I like the way they play. They play hard. They play fast. And, you know, I'm a defensive guy. I believe defense wins championships. So
facts.
I'm running Mississippi State.
I wish that was defense would win championships for Clemson, but that's not this year. As good as they've been on defense. But not so fast, my friend. I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. As much as I wanted to take Mississippi State on this one, Auburn's only loss at home this year was to Georgia, and Georgia's just been very much pooping on everyone. So I'm just going to I'm going to have to go with Auburn here. It's at Jordan Hare. Jordan Hare's a tough place to play, so I'm going to go with the Tigers. All right, surprise pick'em. East Carolina and Memphis. I do this every week, by the way, Cam. Don't worry. This is not just – this is new.
Didn't Memphis just beat SMU?
Yes.
I'll take Memphis.
I'm going to go with the fighting Chris Johnsons in this one.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Lucas on this one.
Is that East Carolina?
East Carolina, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that the receiver?
No, the
Chris Johnson. One of the best.
Oh, never mind. But I'm going to go with Memphis on this one. Give me the fighting Paxton Lynch's, even though he was god-awful in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Memphis on this one, too.
Give me the fighting Darrell Hendersons in Memphis. I like that one. Minnesota at Iowa in the Battle of the Floyd of Rosedale.
Oh, man. Picking Iowa.
Fun fact before we get into this pick'em. Cam originally did commit to Iowa and was a Hawkeye for a little bit. So he's got a couple boys I'm sure he still knows at on that Iowa team.
Good defense and a good defensive-minded team as well, his favorite.
Absolutely.
Man, last time I picked Iowa, they did me no favors. Their offense did, at least, and they got absolutely smacked. I think it was it by Purdue or Wisconsin? I can't remember.
They got smacked
by both. I think they got smacked by both. So Iowa, they just had burned me a little too much. I know Minnesota, I think, lost last week.
They did.
They did.
To Illinois.
To Illinois. Illinois is better than their record is, I think.
I agree.
Man, I think Iowa's offense is just so bad at times that I just don't think that their defense can win them games, but not when their offense is not clicking. I think Minnesota is going to bounce back and get the upset on the road.
So the thing about this game, Minnesota. Woo!
Is that you, Cam?
Hey, I didn't have the dogs barking this time. Let's go.
This dog just got excited, man. That's all.
Yeah, I got bodyguards in here.
It's okay, boy. We're not going to hurt you, boy.
No worries at all. But the thing about this game, so Iowa started actually last week at quarterback, a new quarterback at Alex Padilla. Didn't do too terrible, but Minnesota had no offense last week, and I'm pretty sure they're down to their fourth or fifth string running back right now. He's a freshman. So I'm taking Iowa in this. I think Alex Padilla is a lot better than Spencer Petras. So I think they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going with Lucas on this one as well. Also, for my boy Cam, got to go with Iowa. Watching Minnesota last week against Illinois, Illinois' defense is solid, but it's not like a world beater, and it only gets 6 points against that team, and it was at home for Minnesota. I trust Iowa to get more than 6 points, especially with Goodson, that amazing running back they still have. So, yeah, give me Iowa.
Yeah, this one's tough. This one's real tough because from being there and being in that program and just, studying them over the years, Iowa, I feel like they always seem to do great and then somehow just fall off somehow, some way. And but I think I'm still going to roll with Iowa on this one. I got confidence in that run game with the Goodson back there. Their O-line is actually really good. I think Iowa's going to pull it off. I think it's going to be a close game.
Goodson, a Georgia native, by the way. Gotta represent the Georgia. Gotta love the Georgia boys here, being a Georgia native myself. But I'm going to go. I kept going back and forth on this one. These guys have both played Northwestern in recent weeks. Wisconsin did last week, won 17-12. Minnesota the 2 weeks before won 41-14. Yeah, I meant that. Yeah, no, Minnesota won 41-14. Iowa won 17-12. And for that reason alone, I'm going to go with Minnesota, which, by the way, I forgot. My cousin Mike is on their hockey team there, and they're one of the best D1 hockey teams in the nation. So, gonna do
shout out to Mike.
Yeah, shout out to Mike.
I thought football math didn't work.
No, normally it doesn't, but that's because at this point I was just kind of like couldn't decide.
You're just done. You're done with the Iowa offense at this point.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't. I love their defense, but their offense just, it hurts. Reminds me of it's like Clemson's offense this year. So I know that. All right, now let's get into the really good ranked games here. Number 11, Texas A&M at number 15, Ole Miss. Our boy Hugh Freeze's old school.
Oh man, if Matt Corral is playing at full strength, I think I would take Ole Miss. I don't know what to think with Texas A&M. I mean, they've looked really good. They're really hot, but their defense is not that good. I think Ole Miss, if Matt Corral is at full strength, their offense is good enough to match up with anybody. So I'm actually going to take the former Fighting Hugh Freezes in a slight upset.
I'm going to take A&M in this one. I think they're one of the hottest teams in the country, if not the hottest team, other than Georgia. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Aggies in this.
Yeah, any other time, if this was the Aggies team before beating Bama, I'd take Ole Miss in a heartbeat. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. I don't think either defense can really stop one another. But I also think Texas A&M's defense is a little bit better than Ole Miss and can make stops when they need to. So, yeah, give me the Aggies win this one.
Are they playing at Ole Miss?
Yes, It is at Ole Miss.
I think I'm going to roll with Ole Miss on this one.
And it's at 7. Game day, if I remember correctly, is going to be there as well. I kept going back and forth with this one. It was really hard for me to choose this one, but at the end of the day, I am going with the Fighting Mike Evans in Texas A&M. I think they are. I agree with Lucas. They're the hottest teams in the country. And their last 3 games, by the way, the most that anyone has scored on them is 14 points. So I think Ole Miss they'll score their points, but just not enough. Now, what I think people are not talking of here, this could end up being Georgia's toughest game, arguably in the SEC. It's at Neyland. I believe, let me remember what time it is. It's a 3:30 game, but it's at Neyland. It's going to be packed. This could be a trap game for the Dogs, or their toughest game left in the year.
Yeah, I think regular season, I think Hendon Hooker is probably the best quarterback that Georgia will have played this year. And, as a Virginia Tech fan, that really stings to see and to say. I really want to go with them, but Georgia, yeah, exactly. There's just such a gap between Georgia and every other team, honestly, at this point, that I think we were saying this before about Alabama early in the season. Until we see it happen, you can't really pick against Georgia. So I'm going to take Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised actually if Tennessee might be able to keep it within a touchdown, maybe less, if their offense is really clicking, which I think they could.
Yeah, you guys know how I feel about Hendon Hooker. So I'm gonna pick no, I'm just kidding. Georgia's gonna win this. Georgia's gonna win this game. I would love to say that it's gonna end up being close, but I just don't think I don't think it will be. Despite what Ryan says, I think Georgia does have offense, and they're gonna show it, and they're gonna have to show it in this one because we know that Tennessee does. So we'll see.
So this is probably the best offense Georgia has faced all year. And this Tennessee offense is really explosive. Also, if we don't want to forget the last time that a game was played at Tennessee, fans threw mustard bottles at the refs.
And golf balls.
And golf balls.
Lane Kiffin with a golf ball.
I do think Tennessee is going to be rocking. I've been saying it all year that I think Georgia is going to get caught up when their offense isn't going to be able to keep up with a high-scoring offense. So give me the balls. Rocky Top is going to be rocking.
All right. There's your regret pick.
Yep, there it is, right there.
That's either going to make me look super smart or really dumb.
Nah, I know who Cam's taking, though, defensive-minded guy over here.
Yeah, you already know. I mean, you got to think Georgia's giving up like less than 10 points a game. So, I mean, you can have an explosive offense. You can have all these weapons, but if they can't get in the end zone, then you're not going to win. You know what I'm saying? So if Georgia holds them under 10 points, then it could be anybody's ball game. But I'm rolling with Georgia for sure.
Fun fact, I think so Adam Anderson was suspended. He has now been charged, by the way, in that case. So I don't think he's going to be playing anymore this year. That being said,
he turned himself in. Yeah.
He turned himself in. I didn't realize
he turned himself in, but they still deny everything. So it's like it's dumb. But he's never going to play football again.
Yeah. That's a huge loss for Georgia, I will say. But it's not quite Rocky Top yet. It's still more towards a little more for Tennessee. It's still more rocky bottom. And I do think, though, that this game Stetson Bennett's going to struggle, and my boy JT is going to get back in and be back to the quarterback for the Dogs for the rest of the year. Give me the Dogs on this one.
Stetson Bennett also is actually one of the 20 guys in the Davey O'Brien, by the way.
I mean, he did play well last week, I will say. As much crap as I've given him, he has done a good job. Now the game to decide who will be first in the ACC Atlantic. How is Clemson not on here? It's so sad. It hurts. Painful for me as a Clemson alum. Number 16, NC State. At number 12, Wake Forest.
We were talking about this earlier. Wake Forest, their offense is really explosive, but their defense is almost asking teams to just keep the game close and just let the opponent back in. But I don't think, and they might be able to make NC State's offense actually look really good. Better than they actually have been. So I'm still going to take Wake, though. I think their offense is just too explosive to really be stopped.
We talked about it earlier. I got the Wolfpack.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wake Forest in this game. Everybody on this podcast was pooping on Wake Forest after blowing a 20-point lead last week to North Carolina, but that was only because their defense decided to somehow forget how to play football.
They haven't played football all season.
Anyway, Sam Hartman is going to solidify himself as a Heisman candidate in this game and going to have another 6 or 7 touchdown performance. It's going to be his third of the year. So, yeah, Demon Deacons.
I got to go Wake Forest on this one. I really like what I've been seeing from Wake Forest this year. I'm not going to lie. Just watching them on film and seeing them on TV and everything like that, I like Wake Forest. I really like what they're doing this year.
Oh, Cam, not so fast, my friend. I don't know if you guys have ever been to BB&T Stadium at Wake, but it's literally like a high school stadium, and it's a very close drive from Raleigh. And I'm sorry, but after what Wake did last week, and this is also for my philosophy, for Clemson to somehow win the ACC. I'm hopeful, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I do think, though, NC State is going to win this game. I think Wake did get exposed in the second half of that game, so I'm going with the Wolfpack here. Michigan at Penn State, number 6 Michigan at Penn State, actually.
Give me the Wolverines.
Go blue.
So Penn State just came off playing Ohio State really tough. Is this a night game at Penn State?
I don't think it's a whiteout. No,
It's
They've
not,
already
It's not the whiteout.
do a whiteout once a year.
not a whiteout, but it is at 12 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. Give me the Nittany Lions. I'm not bought into this Michigan team. They haven't played anybody, and the one team they did play, Michigan State, they lost to, no matter what you guys say. So give me Penn State. That defense is legit and one of the best in the country. And I think Sean Clifford may be fully healthy for this one. So, yeah, give me the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Penn State on this one too. Michigan may be ranked 6th and everything like that. They may be big and bad, but I know Penn State, them boys, they play with heart. They play with passion. So, and at Penn State
defense.
especially, oh yeah, Penn State.
Good defense, too. If Sean Clifford is healthy, man, I am tempted to take Penn State. But Michigan, I'm sorry, Lucas, I can't do it to you as much as I like Michigan. I'm going Penn State. It's at home. And I just think if Sean Clifford's healthy, they're going to be able to do it. Sorry, my boy. Oh, man. If you were going to tell me that this was going to be a rank v. rank matchup here at the beginning of the year, I would have laughed. Number 19, Purdue, which, by the way, I'm wearing their sweatshirt, by the way, at Ohio State in the shoe.
Oh man, I really want to take Purdue, and I'm going to take Purdue. I think they're going to keep it going. Ohio State looked really, really suspect against better than their record Nebraska, but still. So I think Purdue will pull off yet another monster upset and get launched straight into the top 15, maybe even the top 10. If they beat Ohio State. So go Boilermakers.
This game is not going to be close, and here's why. Purdue's ranked. So Ohio State's going to win this game because of the reason that Purdue is ranked. If they were not ranked, I would take Purdue, but they are ranked, so I am taking Ohio State.
Fair.
Okay, so Purdue has 2 wins versus top 5 teams this year. Fun fact, both of those wins – oh, no, one of those wins was on the road at Iowa. The other one was at home against Purdue. If we remember correctly, a few years
Purdue
ago,
played themselves?
Okay, anyway. But Purdue went on the road and beat Ohio State a few years ago.
And then they beat Michigan State at home.
Yes.
So I really want to go Purdue because they are really hot right now. Aiden O'Connell is proving he's the quarterback for that offense. And I am not sold on Ohio State. And also it would be fun to see Ohio State lose because Lucas, as Oregon's team, is really hanging their hat on that
Still
win.
number 3.
Hey, you know what? Only because of this win. Purdue is going to beat Ohio State in the horseshoe, and they're going to help Notre Dame's resume.
I think I'm going to roll with Ohio State on this one. I think Purdue, they've had their fame, they've had some fortune come in, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this one off. I'm rolling with Ohio State.
Great pick. Great pick, my friend. Great pick. Last time Purdue beat a top 5 team. The week after, they got smacked by Wisconsin. Last week, they beat a top 5 team in Michigan State. So what's happening? They're a 21-point underdog, and they're going to lose pretty comfortably, I think. As much as I hate picking Ohio State, I do have to go with the Bucks on this one, just because of previous experience. Now, in my opinion, a game that is maybe even slept on this week, this could be whoever wins the Big 12, the battle for who wins the Big 12. Of course, Oklahoma State's going to have a stage with it as well, but Oklahoma at Baylor.
I'm going to take Baylor in the upset. Oklahoma's just been too, hit and miss. They shouldn't have, but they could have lost to Kansas. So, I think Oklahoma, I don't know what to expect. I think Baylor's going to, pull off a pretty big upset for them and take control of the Big 12.
I'm taking Oklahoma in this game. I think they're a lot like my very own Tennessee Titans. They play up to their opponents and they play down to their opponents.
Oh, the Ravens are
6-3
at halftime. So the Ravens,
yeah, it's pretty hilarious. The Ravens are
doing the same thing, playing down to their competition. They're copying the Steelers, and it's really annoying me.
But so I got Oklahoma in this one. I think they're going to come out. I honestly don't think it's going to be close. I think Baylor's a good team, but Oklahoma just has this weird thing where when they play good teams, they play really well. So they're going to win.
So we talked about earlier in the show that Hendon Hooker is Lucas's man crush Monday. Well, Gary Bohannon, the starting quarterback of Baylor, is my man crush Monday. And we've been saying it all year. It's not if Oklahoma's going to lose, it's when, with how this team has played. And it's going to come to an end on Saturday night in Waco. So give me Baylor.
Yeah, I'm definitely rolling with Baylor on this one. I mean, Oklahoma they've been really shaky throughout the season. I don't like how inconsistent their play has been. Granted, they are undefeated right now. Records don't lie, but at the same time, I think they're due for a loss.
Great pick, my friend. It's at Baylor. Baylor is undefeated at home this season. I'm going with the Bears. All right, now we're going to move on to our team, starting off with Connor's Virginia Tech Hokies, who host Duke this weekend.
I go last.
Okay, Lucas.
All right, so I really don't want to pick Virginia Tech. But Duke is really, really bad. And actually, growing up, I was my college basketball team was North Carolina. So I absolutely hate Duke with a passion. And they aren't very good. I just have such a hard time picking Virginia Tech, but I'm going to.
Both of these teams are god-awful.
Yeah, they're both pretty bad. So I'm going to take Virginia Tech. I'm taking Virginia Tech here, but who knows, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Hokies in this one. I keep saying it every week. Somehow Fuente will find out how to win a bowl, make it to a bowl game and win one, and then Connor will be trapped in the
next year. I'm going to be so sad.
So yeah, give me the Hokies, just because Duke is that bad.
Yeah, I'm running with VT too.
Yeah, Duke's also on a 5-game losing streak. Their wins this year, let's list them out. And it's North Carolina A&T, Northwestern by 7, and then Kansas. Besides that, they haven't really kept. They lost also at UNC Charlotte, by the way. So, for that reason, I am going with the Hokies.
Wait, isn't that an FCS school?
NCAA and North Carolina A&T?
No, Charlottesville.
No, UNC Charlotte, not anymore. No, they're in Conference USA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Virginia Tech last week lost to Boston College, who did not have a win in the ACC. Duke does not have a win in the ACC. I'm going to pick Virginia Tech, but I'm almost fully expecting them to lose this game and give Duke their first win in the ACC as well.
Oh, no.
So, if Trey Turner is not playing this game as well, then I'll probably switch.
I think he had broken ribs.
He has broken or fractured ribs and a fractured sternum, I think. And I'm
he's probably not going to go.
Probably not. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with that one then. All right, everyone take Va Tech. UConn at my boys at Clemson. It's the purple out. This is my first time going to be at Death Valley in literally almost 2 years. I'm excited to go back. My girlfriend's first game there. Basically a bye week, but yeah, we're still having it because it's my team, my alum.
If UConn loses by less than 35, that can be counted as a moral victory for them. I'm taking Clemson.
3-0 Clemson.
Chill, bro. Come on, man. Our finals starting to play good.
Well,
come on, man.
Definitely if DJ is not playing.
All right, okay.
But I was gonna
Jim
say
Mora's gonna motivate them boys.
He's not going to be coaching yet, though, is he? I think that there's no way
Just
he's
got
gonna-
hired. Why wouldn't he be coaching?
Probably not till
I thought
next
they have to
season,
wait
though.
till after the recruit, like for he's
Yeah.
only doing the recruiting process.
They're gonna be happy they got a good coach, so they're gonna play motivated. All right.
I guess.
But the fun fact about UConn is we've been memeing this team for like the whole year. We had them on for the $1 ticket game, which is the worst of the worst, and they won that game. Wasn't it against Vanderbilt? I'm pretty sure they beat Vanderbilt.
Yes.
So
Vanderbilt
they
beat
lost
them.
to that game. They lost that
Vanderbilt
game.
beat them.
They,
But no,
they
like,
put someone else.
ever
It
since
was
they
also
won,
another $1 ticket game.
ever since they won that game, they've lost 3 straight. So yeah, give me Clemson, but it's going to be like 10-3 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with Clemson on this one. No brainer.
You love that. You love that defense they play over there, right, Cam?
Oh yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, too. I wish their offense could like get it together, man, because their defense is so good. I don't know who in Vegas decided to put them as 41-point favorites. And this is just gonna.
This is the type of game that normally doesn't even get odds on it, or like a money.
No,
or a
it does. No, because they are an FC or FBS school, it does.
Oh.
But Clemson was doing an amazing thing and somehow has covered the last 2 games. That's coming to an end this one.
Well, it
They
doesn't
win,
say
they
much. They've
covered.
won by 1 score. Like, it doesn't say
Okay,
much.
they still covered. That's good teams win. Great
If they
teams
don't cover, they win by 2 points or they lose.
Good teams win. Great teams cover. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. What was it? Notre Dame, number 9 in the country at Virginia.
This all depends on whether Brandon Armstrong plays for Virginia. If he does, then I think Virginia's offense is explosive enough that they could beat Notre Dame potentially. I don't know, and I haven't heard anything about whether he is playing or not because I think he didn't play last week. So for now, I'm going to take
They
Notre
had a
Dame.
bye last week.
By the
way.
Bye. Well, then
Yeah.
he might be doing better. But for now, I'll take Notre Dame. But I might switch it later. But I'll take Notre Dame for now. I think Virginia is already favored against Virginia Tech by like 3 touchdowns, and the game is like 3 weeks.
Yeah, no need to switch this one. There's absolutely no need to switch this one. Virginia is going to win this game. As the great Jimmy Lake said, academic prowess is
academically prowess.
So Virginia is going to end up winning this game. They're just smarter, so they're going to win. That's how it works.
Cam?
I'm rolling with Notre Dame. I'm rolling with Notre Dame on this one.
Okay, so I'm gonna put us in here for mainly for like Connor and I, because like we've been based on quarterbacks. He's gonna be a game time decision. I looked this up actually, and that's what Bronco Mendenhall said. If he plays, my pick is Virginia. If he doesn't, my pick is Notre Dame. And Connor, you can do the same thing.
Soft.
No.
Make your pick. That's soft.
That's so different.
Confidence means everything.
All right, fine. Then give me Virginia. All right, I don't care. Virginia is gonna win. Notre Dame overrated. I don't care. I said what I said. Ryan, too bad.
Ryan, please do not go on a 5-minute soliloquy about this. Just give your
answer. Just make your pick.
Just make your pick.
Make your pick.
So Brandon Armstrong may or may not play this game. Kyle Hamilton may or may not play this game. If Kyle Hamilton, even if Kyle Hamilton doesn't play and Brandon Armstrong does, DJ Brown is still a really good safety and has gotten 2 interceptions the last 2 weeks without Kyle. Give me Notre Dame no matter what. Just because they're better, we can run the ball, and Jack Cohen's figuring it out, and that still is that offense.
Who the hell cares?
I'm sorry, dude. That's sorry.
I love how you played it right at the end as he finished speaking too.
Yeah. But
okay, next game.
Yeah, okay. Now for Lucas's team, the good old Washington State Cougars at number 3 Oregon in Autzen.
Man, I wish this was Washington, because then I would say Washington would push their way to a win over Oregon, but I'm going to take Oregon.
Well, Washington just lost to them last week.
Oh, I'm talking about Jimmy Lake.
Oh yeah. If we were up 24-3, then that's where the mistakes would have been made by Oregon. Blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah,
who
Oregon
says that?
Go
There's a
Ducks.
reason why he's suspended for a game. I mean, let's just put it that way.
Well, that's because
Go
he punched a
Ducks.
player in the helmet.
Yeah, because he's
All
an
right.
idiot.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm so tempted to take Washington State because I want to hear Lucas cry, because this Oregon team just somehow escapes week to week to week.
So
It's
did
not gonna be-
Notre Dame at the beginning of the season.
No, hey,
It's-
we've
it's
dominated the
almost like
last
they're the
4
same
opponents.
team.
I don't want to hear it.
You almost lost to Toledo.
That was week 2. We're
You
different.
almost
teams.
lost to Florida
Uh,
State in overtime.
Different team,
Okay.
Andrew. Come on.
Different team, Andrew.
Clemson beat Florida State by more.
Okay, they didn't have
I'm gonna-
20 players because they were sick. But
That was not when they played them, actually.
Where's my sound pieces? Shut up.
Fine, I'll do them myself.
But anyway, what? Washington
That's for
State
me.
is just not that good to beat Oregon. So Oregon will survive, but they only win this game by 6 points.
Ooh.
I'm definitely taking Oregon over Washington State. Definitely.
What do you think of Kayvon Thibodeau, by the way, Cam?
What happened?
What do you think of Kayvon? Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau.
He's the D lineman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Probably number
Yeah.
1 overall pick, probably.
Yeah.
Five.
That's a grown man right there. He can play. There's only
Yeah.
few people I've seen just be that big that big of a human, but can still just do anything athletically. It's ridiculous.
You know what I just realized? Kayvon kind of reminds me of Christian Wilkins because Christian was kind of like that too. He was pretty.
Wasn't
damn
Christian
quick.
kind of fat though?
Yeah, but he could move, bro. Yeah,
I mean, no disrespect. No
No, he
disrespect.
was.
And
He
Christian
was.
also tried to hurt Roger Goodell when he got drafted.
To be fair, Roger Goodell probably needed that too.
Well,
Yeah,
Roger Goodell deserved it. But
Yeah.
I'm more surprised that Christian didn't get a 5-game suspension for trying to hurt Goodell. Right?
Have you
That
seen
happened.
Christian on Mike Up? He's like, "Stop! Don't say that."
He's funny. He's funny. dude.
He's hilarious. But I'm also going to take Oregon. I think they are the number 3 team in the country, regardless of what Ryan says about them.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to win this game. You know, Washington State actually looks really hot right now. They're actually looking really good. But
Yeah, they
this game's in Autzen. It's a night game at Autzen, which doesn't give me confidence at all. But we have a pretty good winning streak since 2018 at Autzen. So we'll end up winning this game. Probably going to be closer than the spread, which I think is 14 points. But we're gonna win this game, just kind of coast through it, and then get ready for Utah, the biggest game of the
So
season.
basically, another just drawn
They're
out.
gonna
lucky win.
sleepwalk through this game and then
Like-
they're gonna curb stuff like Utah.
Yeah, essentially they're gonna sleepwalk through this game, kind of run, walk through them, and then get ready for Utah. The minute this game's over, is gonna be ready for Utah.
I think the most important thing for them is that they keep everyone healthy, including Kayvon, who has had a little issues with injuries at times because they're going to need everyone.
Knock on wood right now.
Okay.
Knock on your head. Knock on your head.
No, I have a wooden desk. It's okay. But they're going to need all the bodies possible next week against Utah. That's going to be a tough one. By the way, on our other pickup, Pitt's up 23-13 in the third quarter with 3 minutes to go. Now for our $1 ticket game. For those who don't know, this all dates back to when UConn and played at Vanderbilt, and the cheapest ticket you could get for that game was $1. So it's basically essentially our worst of the worst. And this week's game, I found it wasn't $1, but it was $2.
Oh
$2.
wow!
So
that's way too expensive. I can't go to that.
And that is between the two teams that start with Toll in their name, Tulsa at Tulane.
Oh, that's a stretch.
Oh, I'm going to take Tulsa. They probably should have at least tied the game and put the game into overtime against Cincinnati, but both teams decided to have some fumbleitis there at the end of that game. Tulane, despite taking Oklahoma to the brink, obviously they're 1-8. They haven't looked very good, so I'm taking Tulsa. Go. What are they?
Golden Hurricanes.
Golden Hurricanes. I was gonna say Green Wave, but that's
Yeah, I've got that mixed up.
Yeah, so I'm taking Tulane in this one, and it's only because I took FIU last week and you guys all hated on me for it, and they did lose, but I'm gonna keep that streak up. I like their uniforms too, so Tulane.
Yeah, give me Tulsa. They played Cincinnati really tough last week. So yeah, give me the Golden Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Tulsa as well. I've only watched a couple of games of them this year, and I mean, for what I've seen, granted their record is bad, but they do play hard. You can tell like some people are out there really trying to make something happen rather than just going through the motions. So I like Tulsa.
Good pick, my friend. People forget that Tulsa gave Ohio State a lot of trouble. Also, not just Cincinnati. They were giving Ohio State a good run for money until Ohio State pulled away late. And for that reason, I am going with Tulsa. And now for the our team, which we have cursed so badly. I feel so sad.
Are they on a 7-game losing
streak? I feel so bad for Presbyterian, man, because we have just cursed them. And also, we've cursed them in basketball, too, because they lost to my boys in Clemson this week.
Hey, they covered. So
I was hoping they would win.
Clemson's like a top 6 team in the ACC this year, probably.
No, they're not. They're like bottom half. We lost a lot.
Clemson is usually pretty good in basketball.
Yeah. Well, it's weird for me to know that
they're no Oregon, but sure,
football team. So it's very unusual.
But anyway, the Marist Foxes at the Presbyterian Blue Hose.
Oh Jesus!
I just can't take Presbyterian anymore. I'm just gonna keep. I think at this point, this is almost like a free point for us taking whoever.
So a little explanation for Cam here. We picked Presbyterian as our podcast team. After they had a Heffley, their quarterback, had a 10 touchdown game in week 1. Wow. Since then, they've won 1 game.
So we cursed them.
We have
and
cursed them. It is very depressing.
And their coach does not punt. Lucas, Cam, you'll love this. Their coach does not punt or kick field goals. He goes for it every time.
Yeah.
Wow. So all their losses have been like, I think they were like 45-0, 46-10 or something. Like they're just all blowouts usually, it seems. And it's just a free win for anybody who's playing them because we've cursed them. So I'm taking Marist.
We'll curse another team next year.
Well,
Chattanooga.
See,
no,
not Chattanooga. We can't do that.
Chattanooga is sacred.
So I'm gonna take Presbyterian this week. Why? Because
why not?
Because why not?
Why not?
All right, Brady Klein. I'll see you.
All right. I'm going to go with Marist in this game, and here's why. Cam will know this just like I do, that Marist High School in Illinois is one of the best high school football teams in the state. So because of that reason, I'm going to go with Marist in this game.
Marist, definitely.
He's like, I'm not touching that.
Well, that's actually funny that you mentioned that because there's a high school in Georgia called Marist Private School, and they are one of the best private schools in the state of Georgia as well. I believe last year they won state at their class.
Is their colors red and black too?
Negative. They are not. They're blue and yellow. They're also the War Eagles or the Eagles
blue and yellow. That's almost bad as purple
gross.
And yellow.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a navy blue, so it's not that bad.
Navy blue.
But
if it's a navy blue, then I don't.
Yeah, it's a navy blue.
That's like the Blue Angels.
Yeah, no, it's not. My rival high schools are blue and yellow, and it's gross. But
really gross.
the Foxy Foxes are gonna take it to the unfoxy hose, and then Presbyterian. I'm going with Marist in this one. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for the pick'ems. I want to say, first of all, thanks again, Cam, for coming on the show. It was really cool again to also talk to an FBS player. We wish you guys the best of luck this week at UTSA, and we really are rooting for you guys to pull off the upset. And I'm rooting for you to get at least an interception. I would love if you get a pick 6, man. You're going on my college football top 25 plays. I don't care.
You got to shout it. If you do that and you're looking at the camera, you got to shout us out. We gave you the good vibe.
Yeah, right.
Also with Cam, You guys got to watch out because Cam has some amazing speed. And last year, he won Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week for on a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Nice.
So watch out.
I didn't know you were a kick returner, Cam. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll look for that too. All
Yeah,
right.
it's nice to have another, college football player on the podcast. Just saying.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Seriously. I mean, I've never done anything like this. It's actually pretty cool. And like being out here to do the picks and everything like that. I mean, it's an honor. I appreciate y'all for real.
Hey man, we're glad
Absolutely.
we're
Thank you
glad
very
you were
much,
willing
Cam.
to come on, man. You have a
That's
great
awesome.
night. And then once again, good luck this week.
For
Yo,
sure.
go
Appreciate
Eagles.
it.
Good luck, man.
Go
Sir.
Eagles. All right, and that was of course our boy Cam. He nice guy. I will say, Ryan, you did definitely have the connection. I wish I had guys from my high school who had really played. There was only one guy who really played. A lot of us really didn't go on. But guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Week 0 podcast. We managed to go 2 hours and 40 minutes, but it is okay because we had an extra guy on the pick'ems. We also did an interview with Hugh Freeze. I don't care. If anyone's
Connor said it was going to be 3 hours. Didn't make it there.
Hey! Oh, man, I should have bet and taken the under. We should have bet to Vegas. Oh, man.
Lamar.
What's the
Oh,
score?
no.
What did Lamar do?
It's 6-3. Ravens are deciding that let's not pass deep. Let's do a bunch of wide receiver screens and get Lamar killed.
Lamar almost just got smoked by Javon Holland, though, but he juked him.
Man,
He's pulling out. He's
all
pulling
I
out.
know is I regret
And
playing Holland
and Brady and Brissett just got hurt, so Tua's coming in.
Ooh,
He hurt his knee.
Tua turned the ball over.
Tua turned the ball over.
Tua turned the ball
But
over.
once again, guys, thank you again for watching our show. I know, and I hope you guys got to enjoy the Hugh Freeze interview as well as getting to talk to Cam. Cam, what's his last name? Jordan, right?
Cameron Harrell.
Oh, Harrell.
Cameron Harrell.
Yeah, Cam Harrell. Okay. I keep thinking. I don't know.
Just think of Graham.
Graham Harrell. Yeah. Crabtree, Paul Spray, and touchdown, Red Raiders. Never
was he
forget
the
that
quarterback
play
that year?
against Texas.
He was the quarterback that year.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep, he was. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching the show. If you haven't already, make sure to give us leave this video a like because it helps the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We have the weekly Zero podcast on here every week. And I know I've been kind of slacking a little recently with the top 25 plays. Very disappointing in myself. I am going to post it late tomorrow or sometime tomorrow. And
You're really trying to get to this 3 hours, aren't you?
Because he bet the over.
I bet the under.
Hey, before we go, though, I did want to say a quick salute and shout out to all the veterans out there. It is Veterans Day week.
Yes.
Thank you for all your service, and we definitely appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be able to sit here and look like idiots talking about football online if
Speak for
it
yourself.
wasn't for you guys. Hey, you know what? I'm just
Have a good
glad
night,
we
guys.
kept it.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, let's keep it going. Peace.
For Connor Dotree, Lucas McKnight, and Ryan, Ohio State's better than Notre Dame travel. I am Andrew Coster, and we will see you guys on the next episode next week on the Week 0 podcast. Have a good night, everyone.